Hey, what's up, y'all? We are back.
We return to talk about the news of the day. It's React and Draw. I'm Dan. He's Sean. As you can see, these little letters
Mm,
help name who we are. Listen,
yeah, I identify as Sean.
who
What?
identifies Dan?
No, oh, like I guess we could switch it for the day.
I don't know about all that. Um,
Well,
yeah,
well, the comic book industry wants to identify it as funded, but
exactly. We're going to be talking about comic news today. We're actually going to, you know, until the UFO revelations kick up again, until they start actually grilling these people on how many government agents have been executed for knowing too much about, ET and them,
right.
kind of left that there as some kind of dangling plot thread until they start talking about the red square that floats around and haunts people and the black cube inside the sphere that somehow harasses Boeing employees. Until they get to that, we're going to go back to just more earthly realm and talk about our profession, the comic book industry right now, more specifically the mainstream comic book industry. So
I will
I
say
know a
though,
lot of people like,
they kind
yeah,
of left us
go ahead.
hanging though. Like they really kind of left us hanging on that
Oh, and the
alien.
alien thing? Oh, for sure,
Yeah, because
yeah.
I'm like, yo, bro, you can't.
We Googled it right now to see if there's any news, and they said from 5 days ago from when the hearing was. It's literally memory hold. That's why when people say, "Oh, that's distraction," that's a distraction from what's going on with I don't know Biden and the Ukraine and Trump, and it's like, yeah, if it was such a distraction, why come it was only like up for like a day, less than a day?
It's funny though when people say distraction because they're like, that's a distraction to get people. I'm like, I pay attention to everything.
Yeah, it's like
And
yeah,
nothing
I can,
distracts me from anything. Yes,
yeah, like,
aliens, and yes, I also know the inflation is bad because
yeah.
my groceries are crazy. And yes, I know that all of our money's going to Ukraine. And yes, oh, that trust me, I have room for the aliens and entertainment and comic books, and
Yeah, I can,
I can multitask. I got
right, right.
who are these people who are distracted? I guess what
I don't know. Like they're put off
normies.
their game. They're now in like UFO rabbit holes. They're looking up, I guess, uh, bootleg documentaries on BitChute about alien technology or something. They were led into a rabbit hole that they'll never get out of, so they'll never know about. I don't know the Biden impending impeachment attempts. Like, really? Like, it's gonna be plastered all over the news 24 hours a day.
Maybe,
The
maybe,
aliens.
maybe, maybe we're thinking too highly because I know like us and everybody in the chat is like generally pay attention to everybody. Maybe there's people out there who they just like stare at TikTok and be like, "Oh, no time to
Yeah.
be an NPC." Maybe the
Maybe from
girl,
like
maybe the ice cream's so good. Maybe she's probably not paying attention to.
yeah. If anything, that's a distraction. Maybe I don't know.
Well, yeah,
But it's always like even podcasts and YouTubers that I like are saying that the UFO thing is a distraction. It's a distraction, guys, and it's like what a distraction from you selling, I don't know, birch gold, like a distraction from you derailing your political topics to talk about I don't know getting in the gym for 45 minutes, like just landing on topics you have in the hopper in your brain that you can go to. Well, is that it? Like maybe
distraction
that's a
from
distraction.
selling the water filters. To
Yeah,
get
yeah,
get
yeah.
the fluoride out.
I love the water filters.
Yeah, I wish
I
I had a
love the
fluoride filter.
fitness.
To be honest,
I love the fitness talk. I love it all. You know what I'm saying? But we could talk about ET for a minute. I think we can talk about it maybe for like a couple days.
come on, it's entertaining. Yeah, yo, the government
I
sat in a room and talked about like aliens. Y'all think I was not gonna miss this? That's funny as hell. I'm
I thought the alien thing is a distraction, and the Andrew Tate thing is not a distraction. That's important. This is not important. And I'm just like, you
which
can
by
say anything is a distraction.
which
I'm
by the
okay with everything being talked about and me paying attention to everything. That's what I'm about.
which by the way, side
Yeah.
note, my man got a comic book right now. Uh,
Oh, Top G. Oh, yes, he does.
yeah, he
Yes, he
got a
does.
comic book. I don't know what to think about that. It's $97 if y'all won't go pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. If you got the American Express Black Card, you can go scoop that up for $97. You can enjoy the adventures of Top G, superhero extraordinaire.
as he stops, projectiles like the Matrix.
And we have people in the chat. We got Incarnate. He says, "Why does your music start? Why does your start music go perfectly with the dance from Megan?" I did not know that. I didn't know people were syncing up our intro music to Megan. It's like the Dark Side of the Moon. That's what hippies used to do. They used to like sync up the Dark Side of the Moon with the Wizard of Oz, the Pink Floyd album, and then it would like say, "Oh wow, Dorothy's walking," as like something is playing.
I didn't even realize they used to do it. So now I gotta go sync up Megan.
That's boomer knowledge, Sean.
Oh, my
I'm
bad.
like a boomer enthusiast. Okay, like, unlike other people from our generations, later generations, I actually have a level of boomer respect.
Right.
Because even though boomers, they blame them for like, I don't know, extracting the wealth or whatever, and like, I don't know, putting us in like debt slavery or something to foreign nations or whatever. They did invent music videos. They did invent like, I don't know, Star Wars or whatever. So
yeah,
and later generations like bastardized it. So it's like,
So yeah,
Yasmin is here. What's up? Says yo.
What's up?
Brina says Marvel and DC Comics are in the, she uses the dirty word, the pooper. In other words, Riververse CEO July hired Yaira to illustrate Yaira. You mean the
Oh yeah, she does look like her though. That's funny.
Oh, okay. Marvel hired the Miss Marvel actress to write Miss Marvel. So one good turn deserves another.
Yeah, there you go. I saw some of her art. She's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Willem is there. It says, "What's up?" It says, "Most people can hold more than one thought in their head at a time." This is true. Like, I got room for the aliens. I mean, it was at the government hearing. I mean, it's not like it's like BS news. It's not from like, I don't know, alien wonkery.biz. It was like actually on, CNN, Fox, C-SPAN. They were having Congress people co-sign.
Well, I bet you did. They still, they had the live stream of the hearing like going on indefinitely on some stuff. I'm like, all right, cool.
Rasmus says, "Let me find out some aliens distracted y'all from inflation."
Nah, every time because I'll be reminded every time I go to the store. I bought this can, it was probably like what, $87 just to buy this energy drink that I shouldn't be drinking.
Exactly. You see the inflation on some Doritos, bro? I don't know how much a bag of Doritos costs now.
The big joint?
Yeah.
I haven't bought the big joint in a while. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know either.
Is egg still up?
Concept at this point.
Are eggs still up?
Probably. Nah, I don't know. If it fluctuates.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Rasmus says the Birch Gold spam won't stop. It'll never stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
You gotta go get it. No, let me stop.
Gotta go get that. The boner pills.
Right.
The Blue Chew. You gotta get that.
Yo, the Blue Chew, stay on the Twitter. Can Elon do something about the Blue Chew? Nobody cares.
That's the ads. Well, that's the ads that are getting, that they want to be down with the X app.
Oh, well.
Lamp says Boomer adjacent. Yeah, Boomer adjacent. I'm happy to be known as Boomer adjacent. That's fine. Boomers made Face Off, Hard Target. They made the Terminator. What are people making right now? Barbie. That's what they're making right now. That's what the millennials are making right now. Some Barbie. So what am I gonna do with that?
Oh.
Brina says the difference between Yaira and Miss Marvel is design came first. Well, there you go. Ratsman says I haven't gotten into it yet. Oh, talking about Nightbot.
Oh,
what? Nightbot's acting trouble again?
Is it?
Boy,
come on, B.
I don't know what's going on. I don't like the emojis. I don't know. I thought you fixed that.
I did.
Oh, he's just waiting for the troubles. All right. Well, anyway. Glad you're all here.
Rasmus talking about the black NPC looking. Oh, wait, is that her name? Yo? I don't know all their names. The only one I knew was the first, the white girl, and then the Dominican girl, and yeah, ice cream so good. But yeah. Anyway, so we got an article here from last week that we didn't read because I was too distracted by aliens. I was distracted, y'all.
In the alien fog right now. He's distracted by the easily ignorable news that government agents have been murked, killed for exposing alien life,
I
and that we
was
have alien remains. And apparently, there's a giant red square the size of a football field that pops in and out of our existence.
right.
So, Sean was easily distracted by this forgettable news to the real situation of the comic book sales lag in spring. But we're gonna get into it though. Okay,
Yeah, because now I'm not, now that I'm
we're
not
back.
now that I'm not distracted, but
Right, the alien fog is lifted from the cloud from his brain,
I had
and
to
now
put
he can
I
concentrate.
put down the David Icke books and now
Right, right. The reptilians are allowing him to speak once more.
All right, what we got here? Comic sales lag in weak spring.
For sure.
So it says it. It's what's between the covers. Damn, bro.
Yeah, and this is like an industry newspaper. This isn't like
Yeah, this is
some
ICV2.com, bro.
right. This isn't like a anti SJW
Yeah,
website. This is like a real it's been here for years. It's been here as long as like comic book internet news has been here.
yeah. This is the days of dollar, probably.
Yep. Yes.
Hold on,
Okay.
let me enlarge the screen a little bit. Little bit. All right, cool. All right, what we got here? Comic retailers reported weak sales for spring 2023, January through April. And as is usually the case when comics or any other entertainment medium has sustained period of lackluster engagement, there's a general agreement that the problem is between the covers of the books that are coming to market, especially from Marvel and DC comic books. Uh-oh. What happened? I thought they were giving us stellar content, bro. What they get?
Yeah.
I forgot what happened this year. Joker was pregnant this year?
Ah, man, that must have been earlier this year.
Yeah, I feel like that was like the beginning of this year.
I know that they're planning some kind of Secret Wars event where they go back to the battle planet and they get some they got some boomer writers writing it and stuff, but I think it's just another miniseries. It's not like an event. And he got Paul from Spider-Man, right?
Paul!
Mary Jane's true love.
Mother effing Paul. I forgot. Paul.
Yes, for those who don't know, there's a character named Paul who apparently has married Mary Jane and they have kids together because Spider-Man was like missing in reality for like I don't know how many years, just like not that long too. Like he was
4
years.
years.
4 years. And the kids are like 4 years old, so you do the math.
Mary Jane, she's out here. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Rasmain says in the chat says the Hellfire Gala is every 3 months. Yes, they seem to be very much involved in this Hellfire Gala X-Men prom story and their whatever and their island mutant ethno state they created, and I think they're getting rid of that storyline, or maybe they got rid of it by now. I don't remember. But I guess these storylines aren't capturing the imagination of the reader, according to these retailers.
Wait, didn't this year we also had the Thing getting chastised for having white privilege?
Yeah, because even though he's like giant rock monster, ugly guy, he got yelled at by some student activist, and he had to defend himself on stage. This is stuff that got internet buzz,
Rip Roaring Entertainment.
2023.
Yeah. Well, John is here. What's up? Now, see. Well, we're gonna get into that later because I was about to say John is the example of a man trying to do comic books that people want to see. Right. So let's go into the next paragraph here. Says, sorry, I lost my place for a second. Oh, here we go. But there's not a lot of retailer. Sorry, I'm messing up. There's not a lot that a retailer can do about the product that isn't exciting to customers. John Robinson of Midwest retail chain Graham Crackers Comics said.
The Midwest? Oh, it's flyover country.
It's not.
Says not. Yeah, it's
go
not like.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
I didn't know. It's not like publishers are trying to publish mediocre product. They'd like every event to count and grab the public's attention. It's just not happening. Well, asked about Marvel and DC sales, Bob Schaefer of Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy in San Antonio, Texas, had much the same observation. They're trending down because many retailers that I've spoken to, including myself, don't really see that there's much of a coherent editorial vision with them, he told us. They're chasing the same thing or chasing whatever they believe is the hot new thing.
Hmm.
Interesting. What is the hot new thing? What do they believe is the hot
The
new
hot
thing? I
new
guess
thing
it's
is
like
whatever's on X. Excuse me, whatever's on.
Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, the buzzwords formerly known. I mean, the buzzwords on the app formerly known as Twitter. Uh, I mean, that's all they've been doing, right? They got
Yeah, they had like some go-tos that they go to, like when the sales are down, kill somebody off, bring them back, and 3 months later, find out that Robin was actually like, gay after being straight for like, I don't know, 30 years or whatever.
out of nowhere.
Right. So this is what they do, and then 18 Miles Morales comic books,
Right.
even before the movie's out, they just like burn you out on this character.
Jonathan Kent on the cover trying to fight climate change.
Right. So, that's a hot new thing. If it's on CNN, they watch CNN, they see like, wow, that retweet by some politician got like 84,000 likes, so let's make a comic book about it. Not knowing that, perhaps there's not a lot of crossover between people who mainline MSNBC every day and buying comic books.
Right.
It's like saying a lot of people buy Purdue chicken. I'm going to put chickens in every comic book or something like that. It doesn't work like that. You just can't, whatever. Anyway, and across the country in California, San Francisco retailer Brian Hibbs of Comics Experience was singing the same song. It's across the board that periodicals are having a lot of trouble. By and large, it's because the publishers have not been doing the thing they need to do, which is trying to increase their markets and get new customers in. They're just trying to maximize the amount of money and that they're getting from the people who are already buying comics, which worked for a little while, but then it stopped working because people can smell sincerity. Hibbs noted that the level of talent working on comics had declined, which was affecting the content pipeline. In this particular moment, the major issue that I see is people doing things outside of the market, he observed. By that, I mean doing Kickstarters, selling their books on Whatnot, Substack. That took a lot out of the marketplace when the top 10, top 20, top 50 creators went off to work in a different market for a year or two. A lot of these people aren't working for Marvel or DC or even Image to get the material out there. If you don't have big name people doing big name material at the big name companies, then where's the excitement in the market? He continued. Okay, that's a lot to unpack right there. So I'm just take a breather. It says,
I mean,
like, what he's saying is true in this general sense. And I mean, now to this first point, he says by and large, it's because the publishers have not been doing the thing they need to do, which is increase their market and get new customers in. Now, it's funny because the mainstream companies would claim that they are doing that.
that's what. Yes, they claim that
They're trying to get the crowd that are into like identity politics. They're trying to get those guys in. They're trying to get I don't know what they're trying to get. First of all, they do a lot to like I don't know. They think they're trying to get like this whole new angry social media crowd people in the Tumblr generation. They're trying to bring in younger people and their consultants or their own biases.
right.
Everyone's got them, but it just happens to be theirs. That they're trying to get young people in, all right, and they hire young people to work there. The assistant editors, the interns, the the consultants that they're sent down from their parent company, right, to tell them, and they all seem to be like a millennial, like late age Gen Z person, and they tell them what people are into,
What they're
and
into.
but their information, I believe, is wrong because they haven't been able to retain the audience or get the new audience.
Oh, they're right in a sense that they're
Yeah,
into it.
right.
They're into talking about it.
Yeah, they are. They're very
But
much into talking about it. Like
we've
on Twitter, like the threads are big on Miles Morales.
oh yeah,
They are huge. Now, does that translate to them
sales.
buying every Miles Morales comic that they put out?
No,
No.
because there's a divide between what people like to talk about or debate about or discuss or have discourse about online versus what people actually buy. If you bring up a whole bunch of social issues, and you can in your comic book, if it's done well. We've had entertainment like that before, but at the forefront has to be entertainment, prime entertainment. Like this guy's here saying, "Where's the talent? Like the top artists, the top writers, they're not there." So all you have, and then they took away the talent and piled on the edutainment. I cannot remember a time in which edutainment was selling big.
Right.
I don't think. Oh, it's not edutainment. We're not preaching 100% top of the book. It's enough. It doesn't even matter because it's like they take an edutainment topic, like changing a character's race or sexuality for fun, like because that already envelops it into edutainment. So it doesn't even matter if the whole book is not edutainment because they already made a big edutainment move on top of the
Correct.
book. So now it coats the whole thing. Or they could have just made a new character, which they didn't, or they don't most of the time. So now,
Because if they create a new character, then they don't have controversy.
right,
And they believe controversy creates cash. I know Eric Bischoff wrote that book, from wrestling. He wrote controversy creates cash. And, if you have a controversy, it will create cash and all this other stuff. But I don't know. I think it will, but not to the extent that's going to keep you in the lifestyle that you're accustomed to all the time.
right.
Like, you create controversy on Twitter, but will it and generate like attention for a book, and maybe people will buy that book or hate buy it, more than an indie book that could probably use the attention. But will the sales be enough to like sustain the company? No. But they're just so used to this formula that they're afraid to try anything else. It's like,
And
you could say they're like hanging on to like crumbs, but what if you lose the crumbs? Like,
also, they're following ideologies that kind of don't make sense. Which, okay,
well, it makes sense for sales because if you think about it, like people like to diss the 90s and every other decade before now, but sex sells, right? So if your ideology says you can't have sexuality, you know, in the comics and stuff because it's too I don't know, it's too exploitative to women or
right,
this, that, and the third, then how you gonna how's that gonna work? Like, if you have them all covered up or like if they draw the uniboob, that phenomenon, they're afraid to draw like regular breasts, they draw like the uniboob on the characters like Wonder Woman and stuff, or any other character. It's like, how are you gonna bring in sales? Meanwhile, every other industry doesn't have this problem. The music industry is not having that problem. If anything, they got to tone it down a sec or something like that. Like,
you're right.
Instagram is not having that problem. So when you bring it, and then you say like, well, and also the ideologies are like, oh, they don't like guns,
Right.
and then they make they try to limit the gun use of the Punisher for a few months. Sales are going to dip because it's like your ideology is going against the actual intent of these characters.
Right. Well, that's what I was about to bring up. Like, well, especially with your first topic, and I guess the second topic too. How am I? How am I supposed to make entertainment based on the ideology? Like, oh, you can't have any sexy characters in your book. All right, and then that same person who told me that will tell me to respect all sex workers.
Right.
Not like
But
not like I'm sitting out here disrespecting sex workers because people can do whatever they want. But I'm just saying, if those two viewpoints come out of your mouth. I am confused. You can't build funds off of that. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just like some kind of schizophrenic approach to making comic books, and the readers don't care. Like the readers are not gonna hang around until you figure yourself out. They're just gonna dip because the comics are getting expensive. You know, they see the direction is not going anywhere. You know, they see them like dunking on the characters they grew up reading, and it's just like they don't need this.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Rasme says he never hate buys anything. That's good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh wait, I didn't even have my chat on. But yeah, there we go.
And they think people will hate buy, you know, and they won't. Like for the most part, they won't. Because it's like they'll just watch the YouTube video of the person roasting it. They don't need to buy it themselves.
Right. It's very confusing. Very confusing. But you can't base sales. You can't.
Yeah, this used to be like a weird how do you say it? Like some weird dichotomy or some kind of split in today's entertainment when it comes to sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in the day, like on Netflix they had like the Pam Anderson documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I talked about this before. And it turned out like she went to some kind of football game in Canada or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they put her on the jumbotron, like they pan into the crowd to the fans, and the camera just landed on her or something like that, and her friends, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got a big crowd. She got a big crowd reaction, and then the I guess the manager or one of the guys of the football team or something said, "Oh, you look great. You want to be a print model or something? You want to like do some ads or something for the team, for the company?" And she's like, "Okay." And then through there, they were like, "Okay, you want to like be an actress or something?" Like they saw her beauty as like, "Oh, you want to be in art?
Mm-hmm.
You want to help us like sell our products? You want to help us do stuff?" And they're like, "Okay." And they can say that's exploitative or whatever. But nowadays it's sort of like they would just have her on OnlyFans. They would just say you don't belong here or something.
Right.
Unless you're like some kind of Academy Award winning level actress or something that like, blah, 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 blah. They wouldn't even make a show like Baywatch for her to be in. At least it's like safe.
Yeah. When it said, Will.i.am
They'll
said,
say OnlyFans is real work.
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess that's the only real work. It's like the beauty ghetto that they toss all these people into. And they're not allowed to express the beauty in anything else that they make, including video games and comic books, and they try to tone it down in films and stuff. It's wild. I don't even know what to say, really. I mean, like, they won't unleash the tools. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I think Top Cow is gonna reboot like Richblade and all this stuff.
They are.
And I'm like, I think so. I mean, they always do.
How?
Like, once in a while. I'm just saying, like, they're gonna do it, but it's not gonna be like the same, like how it was, like with the art style and stuff. But I'm like, that was their brand. I actually think that they have some of the best characters in Image, like up on Spawn level.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of concept, like Witchblade and Darkness
Yeah.
is right up there with Spawn. And they had a brand, which is, I guess, a Silvestri style. And people love Mark Silvestri to this day. So why don't they just do that art style? Instead, they have to, like, I don't know, try and do a different, modern, adult, whatever, mature approach to it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why? Like, according to who? The sales are down. Like, go back to what you were doing before with the 90s stuff.
I'm skeptical with this whole reboot.
Like, give it a shot. I'm sure it'll be better than the last reboot, but it's just like, is there anybody in Image or anywhere like doing something from the past that sold?
Val Chase. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's it. Boom. That's it. There you go. That's it. The end. The only Image book that I bought since I
And this
don't
goes
know.
into the other thing that in the article that I want to discuss, which the guy says no new talent is coming through, right? And this is
That's
kind
all
of
they
true
do.
because it's like,
That's a lie. They got all the Tumblr artists coming. Come on, B. No,
right, they
let me
got some,
say.
and like they've been for years, and like not one of them has like been like, oh my god, I will buy anything that they say. It's not like people are running into to to buy these people's work. I mean, people can name off the top of the head like 10 superstar artists from like 1990s and even in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I got
I
even
mean,
from
back in
the
the 90s, what we had, yeah, Tom McFarlane, you had Dale Keown, you had Rob Liefeld, you had Mark
Mark Silvestri,
Silvestri, you had Joe Mad, you had
J. Scott,
yeah, J. Scott Campbell,
Humberto.
yeah, you got Humberto Ramos, right? Exactly. Yeah, Sam Keith, you had Jim Lee.
Yeah, I guess if we get into the 2000s, you could get people like I don't know, Ed McGuinness.
Yeah, you got Ed McGuinness, you got Brian Hitch, you got John Cassidy, you got Olivia Copel, you got Joe Quesada, you got a bunch of people. You got Frank Quietly, you got JG Jones.
You all forgot about J.G. Jones, bro.
You need to come back. They all need to come back to save the industry or something. And this is something that Mark Millar talked about when he was talking to Nerdrotic. He was like, "Oh, you could fix Marvel in like one day or something. You just get all the artists and writers, like you get the dope writers and you get the talent like to come back." He's like, "Oh, I'll write a Spider-Man book with like Olivia Copel and we'll get like the sales back, or like Frank Quiley, one of those guys." And he's right. However, and I agree they should probably do that, because I think that's like the one thing they could focus on is like, I know those people, I will try to at least get 3 of them or something to do that.
Right.
I will at least get like 3 teams to do that, and then that'll make up the bulk of my sales for the next 2 years. Now beyond that, I don't know, like, because they have to also know how to find new talent. What's the new art direction that's gonna
I could find it for them.
young people is exactly like
I
Joe
could
Mad found a guy to do his book named Ludo
well,
Lullaby. He's at least like a Joe Mad adjacent. So maybe you need like Joe Mad to be the the art talent hunter or something, and he'll go find you the other guys.
He'll
I don't
find
know.
a guy. If I never drew in my entire life again, I swear they could hire me as a talent scout. I will go find just look through.
Yeah, because like you just can't go on Tumblr and find a new guy like just because they drew like, I don't know, Luigi fan art or something. Like it's not gonna work. Like, they drew Link as a girl or something, and in a fanime art style. Like it's not gonna really pop off like that. Like you need sequentials. You need like something that's gonna appeal to, people who have no time but to go to the comic store, which is like a dude or something like that. Like, and to draw superhero artwork primarily. You know what I mean?
Right.
But somehow, like, I don't know, they're getting lost in the sauce. Like they don't know what's going to appeal to people, and what appeals to people. They don't like the people that buy the books. It's sort of like they're like antagonistic against their own audience.
Yeah, they hate their own. I mean, come on, Marvel was arguing with their own audience since way back.
Right. So I'm like, why? Why are you fighting? Like,
it's just,
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm just gonna segue. Well, this is still comic book, but I want to say shout out to I don't always pronounce Lam. How to pronounce your screen name?
Willem.
Yeah, but yes, he just ordered a copy of Red. Yeah, it's here. It's here to order.
Yes, right.
But
this is a
copy
of our comic book called Red, a Cyberpunk Fairytale. That's right. It's Cyberpunk reimagining of the Little Red Riding Hood tale, in which Red Riding Hood is a private security specialist, aka a bodyguard, whooping ass, taking names, well versed in multiple forms of combat, trying to uncover the mystery of a biochemical attack that has left her grandmother in the hospital in a coma. And she won't stop until she finds out who is responsible, and it's some high level clandestine elite bad guys involved. So
yep, there you go. But yeah, so I will get that out to you tomorrow.
That's right. You
As
order a
I
book,
as I
come in
am
the mail, no
right.
waiting. You know what I mean? Boom. You order, you get book. It's a beautiful thing. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
I'm like surrounded by copies of them actually.
You know.
But yeah, there you go. So, but thank you, man. Thank you
Thank you so
for the
much.
support.
Check the
Book.
links in the description if you want the links. There's also a copy. Nightbot in the chat has helped us out here. You can link in the description. BradCombook.com. Reasonable price. You know, thank you so much. So
I was just saying, oh,
yeah,
Buddha
what
Bear's
is
in
it in the
here.
chat? What?
Buddha Bear's here.
Buddha Bear's here. What's up? Says Disparu on YouTube is my favorite way to watch Marvel these days. Yeah, it's the thing. It's like no one's hate buying it. They just watch their favorite YouTuber who bought the book. You know, oh my
Yeah, we ain't
god,
got time.
they got like four. Marvel made a sale of $4, but not everybody who's watching the show is going to buy it. I think the
Right.
people who watch the show are just going to watch the show and read the comic from the YouTube video. Screen caps. Yeah, William says, what are the big new names?
Oh, I think we cut with that. That was before. So
Yeah, uncertain. I think like
oh, the big new names.
it's tough because it's like I don't remember. Like it's like
I can find you some
a
new.
lot of people
I can
from
find you
like
some big new names from people who don't even talk English.
yeah.
Following a bunch of artists, I'll be like, yo, these guys are fire. Follow. Now I can't communicate with them, but I know they could do some panels. I'm like, yo, if I get a translator out here,
Like there's some good books. Like I don't know, but they just have some weird marketing system where I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. Like I heard that Brian Hish released drew some book from DC. I don't even know where that came out. Like they just are just releasing
when?
books and are hyping them up. I don't know. I saw it
Who
on the
this? What book is
I don't know.
this?
I saw on another website. I saw it on some YouTube channel. And I was like, for real? That happened? I gotta research that. I don't know if that's true. You know.
Rasmus said, young Ripper complains that nobody unknown wants to do interiors. I mean, that is true. Now, I think it's probably like I would say as an artist, right? As an artist. For somebody to get, it's like a twofold. One, you have to know how to do interiors, right? And two, the person who's hiring to do interiors gotta have money. Now, obviously, Eric does not have this issue because he got money. Some people don't got the funds to be hiring these people and they want to hire them. So it's like, I don't know. It's like they both have to meet in the middle. I don't even know what the going rate of a Marvel page is. 200, 300 page. I don't know how much it is now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if it's that much. That was like this. Well, maybe. I know that was like the sales. That was like the price, ongoing price for like the 90s book or something.
Right.
Like it's like a 250 a page or something.
Okay.
Now I think for like indies and all that, it goes down lower than that, maybe 150, 100.
Yeah.
Maybe less if you go down to like, some company that you never heard of. If I pay like $50 for a pencil page or something, and people do it for the exposure bucks and whatnot, and to be in the store and have something on their resume and all this.
Yeah.
For when they go to a bigger company and get practice, and I understand that, but it's like.
I will say personally as an artist, I will not be doing any pages for exposure books. Like if I was doing somebody else's comic, it go had to be. And that's not even me, but I'm humble. I'm just like, look.
Yeah. And a lot of people are not going to either because there's like different opportunities out there. Like you do commissions, you do, and just like do one drawing for the amount of money you're going to get for a page, maybe more.
But if somebody comes
go
up,
work for a game company or something, and then design some character for some mobile game or something, and maybe it's not the dream, it's not storytelling, but at least it's like less of a headache and
true,
all that. That's what people are doing now. The deal back in the day was sort of like, okay, they're gonna draw something for less money. Now I don't, that's not, a good thing. It's not,
No.
but I think part of the psychological benefit
Hmm.
that they would give you is that you were in full control of the artwork. Like you were, and they would give you a story that was fun, like an adventure tale to do.
Right.
So it wouldn't beat up your head too much.
Right. Right. Right.
Now the kind of stories that they're writing are like slow, laborious, pace for the trade, no action. It's got all these social messages in that you're probably not vibing with, because when you're a comic book artist, you're trained to draw big muscles, guns, karate, hourglass women, that kind of stuff. And then they have some academic guy telling you not to draw any of that
No,
for
because you got to
$50.
for $50. You got $50. You got to go draw like, I don't know, a superhero flying out of a BLM rally or something like.
Right. So if you're doing that, it's like going to be a little taxing on the mind. If you're trained to be kick ass, then it's going to be a problem. Then they got to go hire a guy that art style vibes with that and then try to sell that to an audience, because they're trying to get this other kind of audience member that routinely did not buy comic books
They don't
historically.
buy book. Their whole ideology is to. Oh, now I'm
It's
gonna.
too serious. Now there are people who do buy those books.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
go to
of
the Small
course.
Press Expo that happens, once a year in New York or Portland or one of these places. So I've seen them. They are real, but I guess they're not enough to sustain these angry retailers from this article.
No.
And I don't know if it's the majority of what pencilers want to do,
Oh, well,
but I think that the publishers don't care for some reason. It's kind of tough, Anyway, there's a lot of issues. I don't want to blame it all on just politics, because there's a lot of other stuff going on too.
Yeah,
It's
there was stuff going on
know,
before, like the
yeah,
politics.
before the politics thing, it was the decompressed storytelling thing. It was people still eating at diners. It was, I'm tired of flashy art styles because that reminds me of the image artists in the 90s that left my company.
Yeah, and they
So
had some
Marvel
jealousy
would,
thing going on where
yeah,
they were like,
like
oh,
when Joe Mad
screw,
left, yeah, like when
screw Joe Mad.
Joe Mad left Marvel, just like the Jim Lee did and all that stuff for Image. They done lost their mind. Like I think after that, they just lost their mind.
Yeah, because that was the last superstar left.
Yeah, that was the first organic fan populist superstar that was built by the fans. After that, Joe Quesada took over and he imposed, the Marvel Knights regime, which worked because he just got, I don't know, the top artists that never drew a Marvel book before, like from the indie scene, to and like the more hardcore books like Frank Qualley with Authority to do X-Men and stuff. So he basically cherry picked the big guns from other companies and put them together. But for like a new talent to rise up from the ranks, it became more difficult after those people moved on to different projects, Then they started to just, I don't know, get into, I don't know, weird things and strange topics to get attention. But I don't know. That's the theory I'm rolling with. There are many other theories. You're welcome to share them in the chat. I'm not sure. But a lot of the people with the new flashy art styles are just going straight into like crowdfunding and stuff and just trying it on their own. Like, yeah, they never had experience drawing a Marvel comic, but they're just going to start doing it there because they don't want the hassles.
Well, I mean,
a lot an editor will give them.
A lot of these artists too, or these projects, it's like depending on they're so picky now. Like depending on just who's your friend. Like you don't even have to post anything crazy. Oh, you friends with this person? Oh, you're this phobe, and then like you cannot join our company. I'm like,
they had like rules. I just want to draw pages. Like, oh, this guy tweeted this, so you're out. Like we got to fire you, or you're on the bubble. And so people want to have that or that kind of hassle, or they just want to draw their own stuff and not deal with it, and not deal with the majors or other people, or anybody. Or just leave the comic industry altogether and go draw for video games or something like that. And they don't know your name, and it's good they don't know your name because then they can't harass you.
Yeah. I mean,
first of all, the comic industry hasn't been welcoming to new people and new talent unless they fit in a certain criteria lane. Back in the day, it was more advantageous when people didn't even know your name. It was just like, oh, you could draw. People want to buy your work. All right, keep drawing. We'll pay you. That's it. Um, yeah. But anyway, we can go on with the article.
Oh, let's see. I forgot where we were up to here, but da, 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 da. Oh, you already read the part about California, right? Sincerity.
Yeah, it says Hibbs noted the level of talent working on the comics had declined, which was affecting the content pipeline. In this particular moment, the major issue I see is people doing things outside of the market. Yeah, oh, I think I read this. Yeah.
Oh,
And it says, oh, did I? Yeah, I did. It says if you Robinson of Graham Crackers also rued the weaker talent rosters. Lots of C-list creators put on major titles or events. Less and less artists willing to do interiors. The full
mm.
length version of this article. Yes. All right. So that was it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell
You're
you,
right. That was it.
yeah, good. Short and to the point, which I like. That last sentence was actually interesting. He was pretty harsh. You know what I'm saying? I'll never be that harsh on an artist to say they're like some D-level person, but or C-level. But I will say he's a retailer and he's probably tired of losing money and all this.
Yeah.
It's
He,
like
he don't got time for an experiment.
no, no, he ain't got time. And also, it's like the industry moved to writer focused stuff
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago, even before the political stuff came in. It was like they're hyping up writers. Writers can write whatever 7 books in a month.
Right.
They claim it's all quality. I disagree, but apparently they can get one writer to write 17 books or something. He can go on the social media, talk all day. He can go on all the websites and do all the interviews. He can appear at a con. Meanwhile, the artist, he don't get play. You know, he's just busy drawing and working, slaving away. They
Right.
don't even care about him. They just like, oh, can you draw this book in 30 days? Fine, we'll mention you in passing. So it's like not only not getting paid as much, they're also not getting any recognition from the press or even their own company. It's all about the writers, you know? And the artist is just there to do a glorified storyboard. So how much level of hype is he gonna get? How much effort is he gonna put in? He or she gonna put in when they're not even getting as much, hype as a writer,
Right.
and they're not getting paid, and they're not getting any interviews. You know, they're doing most of the work, by the way, like by drawing this comic book, a visual medium.
Yes.
So it's hard out there. You know what I'm saying? This is why they had the comics hashtag comics broke me. It's a real thing. They're trying to
That was sad, bro.
you know, and they should express their anger instead of keeping it all in. But the thing is, if they don't express it, start expressing it, then they gotta lose gigs and it becomes a whole thing. I don't know. Well, let me see what the chat has to say about this. They say it's an international game now. Massmain says Americans got to step up. Says comic art's always been an international game. The mainstream just didn't want the audience to realize it.
Hmm.
Well, I think the American
Mm,
dollar goes further in some South American countries than they do here. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like right now, Image is trying to being sued by their own people. They want a union or something. So like even like the people who do the Adobe InDesign or something
Right.
and do the graphic design for the retailer promo pictures and diamond catalog. They're like starting to sue people and stuff. So like Americans want most money, and I guess like some Hispanic dude from like Brazil or he's just happy happy to draw anything,
Yeah.
Mr. American or something. So and they still remember how to draw like in a superhero way. Like somehow like the 90s never stopped for them and the early
Right.
2000s. So they still know how to draw like super heroic builds and like women that actually look like the superheroes that you remember, like Power Girl and Catwoman or something. That you're like, oh, it's like they still remember like, oh, you want like a Michael Diodato Catwoman or Wonder Woman from 1998? I give you that.
Right.
You want a you want a J.G. Jones looking Black Widow from circa 2000. I'll give you that, no problem. And they're like, okay. Meanwhile, America, it's like they've lost the mojo. They've lost I don't know, the skills, the mindset, the muscle memory to draw stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's why they're recruiting from Tumblr, people whose sort of knowledge of comic books is very cursory.
Right.
They might have glanced upon a Wikipedia or something and they saw a comic book, or they watch an old X-Men cartoon, like X-Men, from the 90s one time. And most of their art knowledge comes from, I don't know, CalArts style, Tumblr, furry art, stuff like that. Some manga, having to do with food or something. And now they're recruiting them. It's like, hey, you want to draw this comic book, because they're the only ones who still like moving a pencil around and know what like a sequential format looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not cutting it for the retailers.
Yeah. It didn't help also, like, that a lot of the big superstars stopped drawing comic books.
Yeah.
That did not help. So it's like, they used to have these guys who could draw anything, like these phenoms. That's why I'm a boomer respecter.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Look at a guy like John Byrne. This guy was like a phenom. Like, this guy could draw anything, anywhere. He's not using some 3D art program to figure out the perspective of anything. He could draw out of his head. He just lays down a grid with like a ruler and he just starts drawing, like, I don't know, Mr. Fantastic's whole lab. You know what I mean?
The cycles
out of his head. He has like, I don't know, he has like machine parts that his like in his brain that he just like draws the machine parts, and like Wolverine. He's such a comic books are so much part of his DNA that he has his own website with a bulletin board, and he's drawing X-Men comic books fan fiction for free. He just posts up pages.
Oh, I remember this. Yes,
he's got like 6 or 7 issues of this stuff. And is Marvel beating down the door to like publish this stuff? I don't know. Probably not.
I think not.
Nowadays, the guys, if you find a guy who could draw like a comic book thing, you can't get him for like 6 issues. You can't get him for 4 issues before it rotates to some other Brazilian. And I can imagine it because they probably can't afford it to pay him. And the storyline they're going to give him is going to, like, I don't know, make him depressed to even draw it.
I don't even know how the people who's drawing the stories draw it now. It's like that Miles Morales Thor book. Like, how did that artist draw? That guy was pretty good. I don't know how that artist managed to draw that story.
Also, back in the day, like, look, even when they were giving like more money, it was even back then they complained about the money. Like, it wasn't like the 90s. Everyone would just walk in, they're living like a king or something like that. They were still complaining about they weren't getting any money.
Right.
But at least they had an opportunity to build their career, because I felt like in Marvel, at least, if you were given, like, I don't know, here's some comic book that ain't selling, I don't know what title is, like Luke Cage or like Moon Knight or one of those characters or something. Now they have more recognition because they're in movies and Netflix shows or whatever. But back then, it's like, oh, here's some character or whatever.
Right.
You at least as an artist could say, okay, the sales were in the toilet, but they gave me an opportunity. If I draw it the best I can, make the most exciting splash pages, draw the coolest looking, buff superhero with the big guns. If I have this, draw the sexiest woman I could find, and I could draw that, because there's some, I don't know, some female superhero guest starring in the issue. I could make a name for myself,
right?
Even though I'm not getting paid that much. Now they have it so locked down, this scripted method, that you can't shine. There's no flash pages. You cannot draw the hot woman. You cannot have action because they're busy eating cereal, talking about, I don't know, the person that dumped them in a relationship or something for like 12 pages until, I don't know, the 8-part miniseries can be collected in a trade paperback. Like, how are you supposed to be the next Rob Liefeld living in a villa? How are you supposed to be like Rob Liefeld, like bringing New Mutants from like the bottom of the sales to the top without that kind of leeway that allows you to be a superstar. It
Well,
can't happen. It can't happen. You know
well,
what I mean?
we see how their version of New Mutants was like.
They used to make concessions for artists. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, we think what Joe Mad was like, I don't know. He changed his style to like do like Capcom level like artwork in superhero form. You think when he was doing that, like the Marvel artist said, "Oh, that's cool, but we're not gonna, we're not gonna be able to use it. You're not gonna have him cannonball flying around punching people and all this. You can't do that because we have to have him eating cereal. We have to have him talking about identity politics now." They saw the artwork and was like, I don't know. They had like a lizard brain reaction and said, "Yo, that's dope." I don't know if like a 50-year-old like boomer would say that's dope, but he probably did. It's the 90s.
Right.
Rap era. He probably said, "Yo, that's hot. That's flavor." Whatever slang terms they were using back in the day. That's butters.
Right.
That's the bomb. They left him room to like shine. It's a different time. Yeah, Will.i.am said, yeah, Willem in the chat says Moon Knight was Stephen Platt. Yeah, they let Stephen Platt go off the dome. He let him get crazy on it, and that's how Stephen Platt became Stephen Platt. And he went on to do Prophet and his own comic books, and he became legit. And Marvel let him because it's like, hey, our sales are trash. If you do whatever the hell you gotta do to win the case, they treat it like artists, like cops in a movie. When the mayor's breathing down their neck to solve the case, and they go tell Miami Vice guys or whoever, Eddie Murphy and the Bad Boys, Will Smith and the other guy, Martin Lawrence, they tell them like, do what you do, but faster. Like, so it's like they can like tear up the whole town in order to find the missing drug money or whatever. Like,
well, I guess they don't treat these companies
low sales as an emergency.
Yeah, but they don't treat themselves like they're running an actual business. They treat themselves like they're running I don't know, some kind of I don't know, Save the Whales Foundation or something.
Yeah, it's like a daycare or something. Instead of like, hey, low sales, do whatever you got to do, bro. Draw whatever you want. Like I remember I saw like this video on the Masters of the Universe movie, the He-Man movie, and they told them like, we don't want any violence, we don't want any, any of that stuff, and we want to tone it down. Then they found out, like, I don't know. They found out that, I don't know, the He-Man brand was going down or something. Like they lost, like it was like going downhill. The sales figures weren't that great. And then they just told the movie guy, like, do whatever you want.
Damn.
Have him kill, murder. I don't know. Just make sure this movie's a hit. They didn't do that. They kind of like, maybe they had him punch an extra guy or something, but it's like they don't treat it like an emergency. I felt like in the 90s, even when they were making money, they treated low sales as an emergency.
I don't know. Maybe they want to be martyrs. I don't know.
Well, I guess if you're an activist, you are a martyr in some level. Like,
they still swear that they're still swearing by Twitter, bro. Like they swear.
Yeah, it's like they get likes and then they take the likes, they print it out like on an Epson printer and then give it to their boss and say, look, this photo got a bunch of likes. And they're like, well, likes equal money, so approved. But it doesn't. It's not like you can't take the likes to like
the same things that equal money back in the day still equal money today. It never changed.
I would like to think so.
It never changed.
Yeah, it never changed. Like whatever you're drawing right now, look, it doesn't change. It's like,
yeah, I was just here sketching Neff from Metal Legion, but yeah, it never changed. Never.
It's the same. Let me go to the chat. It says Enrico says Action Comics with testosterone and femininity. Yeah, it never changed. But they tried it without it. They were like, let's try it without it. Let's just see what happens without it. And then they left. I don't know. They left. They kept doing it. they wouldn't stop and say, okay, sales are down. Let's go back to what worked. It just kept going down the path. But the comic books were created with that in mind.
Right.
Superman was never not buff.
Right.
Like, it's who they are.
Hey, they wanted to be different. Now they wanted to be different, and now they're getting different sales.
Enrico says Marvel nowadays are comprised of like 20 to 30% tea parties at coffee shops. Well, they wanted to, yeah, exactly. A lot of coffee shops, a lot
Because
of
they was because
cooking.
before the like the quote unquote woke takeover, they were obsessed with looking like movies. They were obsessed with it,
Yeah,
trying to be like the Quentin Tarantino of combos. Yo, I love
and there's a reason. And there's a
Quentin's movies are
reason.
cool, but you can do a comic book like that, like indie comics, like you can do it, and I'm pretty sure there's successful ones too. But nobody want to see Wolverine in a Quentin Tarantino situation. Maybe for like a page or two, but not for 5 issues straight. Now I'm using hyperbole there, but you know what I mean.
Also, they did that to attract movie producers
Yeah,
because they're like, well, let's make it look like a movie. So when I, meet this movie agent or this Hollywood agent or this manager or some guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows Brad Pitt or something, I could like show him like this is a comic book and they can imagine themselves doing the things that in the comic book and not have it be a cosmic event that they can't, with continuity, that they can't wrap their heads around.
right.
That's why they did it, and they forgot about the actual customer, like pleasing that guy first, the guy who built the brand, so we could even take that to Samuel Jackson or somebody.
Right.
Like they forgot like the OG, the dude in the heavy metal T-shirt that goes every day to the comic book store. They forgot about that guy. They forgot about Dre. Enrico says Marvel still has a large pool of highly skilled artists that fail as a scripts, art without integrity. Yeah, it's like they could draw, but it's like the scripts are sort of superstar artist proof. Very tight. It's like they're not consulting the artist to see. They're not asking that person, what do you want to do? I'll let you go off the hinges on like 6 pages. How about that? I'll make you a deal. You draw my script, and then on 6 pages, you could draw whatever crazy fight you want. How about that?
Right.
And they'd be like, okay, I'll do that deal. They're not doing that. It's like everything's so programmed. Enrico said, is anyone of the two people here familiar with the Yaira's books illustrator's past work? I am not.
I'm not
It was
actually. I saw a couple of pages and it looked.
Yeah, I did see somebody posted something underneath it, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I gotta see more, but it looks good. I guess if people in other countries, South American countries, they're ready to do pages or something. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? Like Americans are having some kind of crisis in their mind or something like about doing pages and stuff, and
they don't like.
They've been beat down.
I was talking with what's his name, Igor, the one of the artists from Reverse.
Sure.
And when they would talk, because there was another South American artist that he hired, and I was just like, yo, y'all just draw without the fuss. Like y'all just like it's kind of amazing. Like, oh, okay, pick up pencil, just start doing dope art and call it a day.
Maybe because like the rest of the country is like, they don't have any other distractions.
Yeah.
And maybe because, not to say this artist that, the Eric's artist, I'm talking like in general, like, I'm saying maybe they're not, connected to the English language as much to be watching all the YouTube videos to get them to think the comic book industry is total trash and all this. So they still like Marvel and DC. They still like sequential artwork for itself. Therefore, they're able to like achieve a monthly schedule in hopes of,
right.
They focus on the good and not the bad.
It's also, I think,
and they were cheaper.
Also, from what?
Because
sorry, go ahead.
And they were cheaper, I'm sure.
Right.
Now, I'm sure Eric's going to be having them eating good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying in general, like for the big two, that's why they hire them and all this.
Right. But I don't know. It's
Yeah, and Rasmain says, the Brazilian artists train and apprentice for each other. This is true. They have their own studios. The only thing American closest to that apprenticeship that I've heard of was Top Cow. Mark Silvestri used to have Michael Turner do backgrounds for him, so he would draw the background sometimes.
Okay.
And then eventually they put him on his own book because like it was about like a house style, so like all the Jim Lee guys would kind of draw a little like Jim Lee, and then
right.
Same thing with Rob Liefeld, the same thing with Mark Silvestri. And Mark Silvestri, used to have these dudes would kind of draw like him, or if they didn't, they would have Mark's inker ink and give it like the Mark flourish because they knew that his style
Mm-hmm.
was selling more than like I guess a routine jobber's art style.
Okay, got you.
So the apprentice style was like drawing like Mark, which is interesting. It's got to be a good ego boost for Mark, but it correlated with sales because like drawing like Mark Silvestri means you're gonna be in the top 10. Like
Right.
Michael Turner proved that, or like drawing like Jim Lee, like J. Scott Campbell was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad place to start. So there used to be like apprentice systems in America to a different degree, like a smaller degree.
They knew how to cultivate the money making
The next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have no idea, or I feel like Marvel has no idea what the next generation of style is.
Yeah, somehow that like kind of training thing, that whole kind of like concept got lost like in the early 2000s to the mid 2000s. That got like done. It was just like, oh, you have a hit book from Image, you're hired. Like you have to almost be good on your own magically.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll hire you to be on a Marvel book. That was like the recruitment style of like Joe Quesada, Oh, you're Josh Middleton, dope artist, born unto himself. Okay, now you can draw this monthly book. Or like all these other guys. That's great if you are a phenom, but if you're starting out, where's the training ground for you? You just have to like, I don't know. It was hard to get mainstream jobs at the time because you just want to give it to like, I don't know, anybody with a resume. You had to previously have done something, And even in Image, Image used to be a training ground. Like they said, like, oh, if you can submit, anybody from across the country can submit a book to Image, and if it's great, we'll publish it. But even they were like publishing just like big name people. Like,
right.
If you just like wrote a comic book for Marvel and got an idea, they'll give you a deal over like a no-name dude. So it was kind of, where was the new apprenticeship? Where was the new discoveries, the training grounds, A lot of the other indie companies kind of fell apart too. Like there was like in the 80s, there was like Eclipse and Comico and, used to be like these smaller companies that used to, you could train up and get paid while you're doing it.
Right.
But then when it just became like, I don't know, 6 companies, it became harder to do so. Whalum says I also bought Berserk Deluxe. That book is insane. Oh yeah.
I've been meaning to get into Berserk. I gotta.
Rasmay says a smart artist knows not to waste energy on a poop script. Poop emoji script.
I mean,
I feel like there's more like, I don't know, like people complain about the artist, but I think there's more scrutiny like on an artist than a writer at this point. Because I don't know what's going on in these storylines. Like, Rasmay says Brazilian artists train and apprentice for each other. All right, yeah, that's true. Rasmay says, to be fair, industrious Brazilian comic artists will not leave the next Brazilian artist talent unexploited in a good way.
Because
it's like I guess it's a short-term exploitation until they get on their own book or get their own opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like they'll take the exploitation if it leads to something better.
Right.
But they're all hustling for the American jobs. Now, the American artists, I don't know. Like, hey, I'm not to turn this show into like some kind of MAGA rally or something, but what about Americans? You know what I'm saying? Like, what we got to do? I guess you got to draw some pages. You have to defy the odds.
Yeah.
Say, hey, the comic industry sucks. I don't care, or I'm upset. They don't pay me enough. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep drawing pages in a portfolio until somebody will hire me. That's it.
I guess also the problem is just like, it's like
it's just fine. I think that's good. I think maybe that should be the way, because it's like, look, now opportunities are starting to happen. You got social media influencers that want comic books and looking for Americans to hire. They probably would rather hire an American so that they can discuss the story and, vibe.
So new orders for Top G.
Yeah, somebody exactly. Like now, Top G was probably ready to hire him. Anybody, he's hiring anybody. So it's like
I mean, yeah.
it could have been y'all.
I don't know if anybody want to do a book for Top G, but you know.
Yeah, the sequential mindset. I don't know. Like you have to think of like the common American fan, like the young people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're into manga. You know, so they're used to being fans of manga, and then when they draw fan art
Yeah.
and post on the internet, or they'll do like a web comic. So that's what they're used to. They're not used to like I don't know traditional superhero art.
That yeah, that is true. I mean, I guess somehow happen to have a manga influence style, but I don't know. That came from like watching Dragon Ball at the right time or something. even though
I
my
would say
art,
so.
even though my art looks nothing like Dragon Ball, but that's where it started.
Mm-hmm. Budapest says some places in the world it's still a blessing to draw for a living. Yeah, and maybe that's the takeaway from it. It's like like we covered this article. It didn't sound too good for this spring or whatever. But in other countries, they at least say, hey, you know what? I drew something and somebody paid me for it. That's a good thing. Maybe they just concentrate on that. And maybe they just look outside the window and see some chaos and something. And they're just like, well, it's either I draw this sequential or
Hmm.
I think about, like, I don't know, some warlord trying to, like, I don't know,
Well, I was also going to mention that earlier
kidnap
too.
me or something.
Yeah, I was also going to mention that earlier because some of these countries, as I was talking to Igor, he admitted like the countries are not in the best.
Yeah,
Uh,
economic shape
yeah,
right now.
and there's a lot of turmoil, and some of them do not like what's going on politically wise. So they kind of just dive straight into like what they're gonna do to the best of their ability to get out of certain situations. So
But the thing
yeah,
is, it's like they got people draw. I don't know. Like, you want to draw the issue where I don't know. Robin came out the closet or something out of character to himself. Like, you'd be happy with that.
no, I'm good on that. I'm good on that because that wasn't him before. Somebody going to twist it, be like, "Oh, just because you
But
phobic."
they'll
No,
find somebody to
because
do it, even if it's somebody overseas. I don't know if that guy was from overseas. I don't think he was. Maybe he was. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but
I have no idea actually.
they'll draw anything. Now, I don't know. It's sort of like you can make a new character. You could do that,
Which is what they should have did.
but they didn't. Also, a lot of artists right now are just finding out new ways to put their artwork out there that has nothing to do with corporations. So
Yeah,
that's also coinciding. It's not that they're lazy or like, maybe they don't want to draw that script, It's not all about the money. But you do have to draw sequentials, even if it's your own comic book. That's like key.
yeah. I mean, the only way to draw, if you do not want to be cringe, the only way to draw sequentials now is if you did your own comic book.
And it's gonna be hard, okay? Because at least back in the day it was hard, but at least you were inspired by what's going on the shelves and stuff. And if you want, you can still go find good stuff that's on the shelf.
Yeah,
But it's more of a hunt and peck situation.
right.
It's not going to be like how it was like in the 90s where like it's image, I mean, Wizard magazine and like the top 100, you could just like scoop up what you want pretty easy. Now it's like you got to just hunt and peck to find your comic book inspiration. It's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, William says all my nieces and nephews are into manga. Yeah, they got a whole generation that doesn't understand like comic books that are in color and reading from you know left to right.
no, you're right. You're absolutely
So
right.
I don't know what that means for like I don't know American comic book artists
I have no
and the
idea.
American comic book format. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because it's like we make books, we make them in the American comic book format.
Right. I tell you what, if the comic book format went back to black and white went to black and white universally, that'd be like saving money on printing,
Hmm.
and you get more profits that way. That might be interesting. But the whole reading from left to right, I don't know. Like, I mean, getting rid of that could be that could be a big step for American artists. I don't know if they want to go. They don't have to go that route, but
Yeah.
I just want the indie comic scene to be big. That's what I want.
I mean, it's gonna
You know what I
have to
mean?
be. I mean,
It's
the only
happening right now.
yeah,
Like outside of that article, there's a whole other world happening right now. That, in fact, the guy in the article was complaining that he sees the crowdfunders, he sees the Substack, he sees all that stuff, and he's like, they need to be in the store.
yeah.
Now, if they start gatekeeping them out of the store, that's that's not good. Also, they get more money not being in the store because the distributor takes a cut and the retailer takes a cut, and then they're left with what's left. Meanwhile, if they just do it on their own, it's online, you get the sale.
Yeah.
No muss, no fuss. So they kind of got to encourage these people to come on the store, and the retailer should speak up. Like this is like the first time they were actually like, I don't know,
That I heard
I've
them.
seen an article where they actually were angry about it.
Yeah. I guess they've had it. Like, I don't know. It's like too much for them.
As it says, I commissioned artists to help me step up my payments so that they could buy groceries. Interesting. Rico says, I was never into hyperviolence, graphic nudity, and sexual themes. I find it to be perverse. Berserk is pretty outside the scope of my taste in that regard. Well, Berserk is pretty hardcore. Like,
yeah, that's why I haven't read it yet, because there's some things that I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of don't want to see in panel form. But I heard the story was good, so maybe one day I'll,
yeah,
get it.
Now, American Comics, I don't know, like what they're, what are they? Like, I felt like, I don't know, any Top Cow comic was pretty tame back in the day and stuff. I thought that was not crazy. You stick with that level of violence, you'd be all right. Maybe the darkness ripped some guy's head off, but he was some bad guy. He deserved it, and it was like in shadow, and it's not real, and
it's funny. I remember
explicit.
I remember Marvel kind of being all over the place. Anybody remember?
Yeah, they had Wolverine like pulling on his claws and slashing people.
Anybody remember the first issue of Ultimates?
Oh well, that's yeah.
I'm not going to explain it. That was a thing.
Breen in the chat says, I think I mentioned this before, but it's crazy that with all this, well, this is virtual signaling. It says mainstream doesn't make masculine gay men or feminine gay women. The majority is a stereotype. Yeah, it's like we discussed this before. Like they have like visually, they have like no-nos or something like that, and people could sense it. Like they won't admit it. Some people have admitted it. Like they get editorial notes saying like this drawing right here. They would say like, hey, can you tone this lower part down? They would actually send emails to people like that. And
I have the uniboob, right? How's that work?
Yeah, you gotta draw the uniboob, and it's like, how you get an email like that? Like, it's just like weird.
Yeah, hold on.
They even got the sculpture artists scared. They had like some sculpture artists, and they had like, it looked for one of these Marvel statues, and it looked weird. This is like even like normal. It's just like some regular woman on the street.
Hold on, I got you. Uniboob coming up right now.
Right. This is that's the new formulation. They got their mind trained. They didn't even have to send the email to say tone it down.
Wait, hold on.
They just got the artist mind.
I don't even think like I can't even have that part there.
Tuned to the situation.
Just gotta, like, go up and then like I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know how to do the uniboob. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like one, and it's there's no like you see you have like a protrusion or something.
Oh, I gotta like hold on. I got
like
you.
You can't have
first
like,
of all, I gotta get that out of here, right? And then I gotta
right.
mound this into like.
Even that's too much. Like it's like a peck. It's like a peck.
Oh, this is so difficult. Hold on.
Even that's not enough.
Oh, come on, chill. This is on its own layer, by the way, so don't worry. Oof, hold on. It's like this. Like,
how are you supposed to be the next Marcel Vestry being like this?
Like this? Like, is it like this?
No, but it's like, I don't want to break your brain too much. It's like even worse than that. Ain't that right in the chat? It's not enough. It's like it has to go like more down.
Yeah, because hold on.
See, you have like a point or something. You have like some kind of.
All right.
It's like a curve, and it's no curve. It's like flatter. It's like flat
Ooh.
with like the smallest peck. It's like the peck starts from the bottom.
It's not
and
even
at
like
the
a
middle.
girl with small boobs. It's like it's like a man's chest or something like.
Yeah, it's a man's chest, but not even with like when a man's like buff and he's like a separation in the middle. They don't even have the separation in the middle. So it's like a man's chest without like, I don't know, two separate like chesticles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then I'll put the neck here. Hold on. It's my experiment, y'all. I'm trying to fit in with the. So I could be hired by Marvel. I will never be hired by them.
It's kind of like that, maybe. I'll stretch my brain to say that's enough.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, it's like that's what they got, and they're like, "Oh, look at this hot woman right here," and they're just like even this, they would say, "Okay." Like if they send that in, they'll be like, "Okay, Sean, we'll stop torturing you for this month. We'll let this go." Like they're still not satisfied with it, but they're like, "All right, this is acceptable or something." And then they'll present this like they're still doing like, you know, Wishblade level comic books right now. Look at this or something. This is sexy, and it's like they know what they're doing. They're afraid of like, I don't know, some activist group that will never come to complain. I think the activist groups are done complaining. It's like now they just need money. Sorry, so go back to what you were doing before.
Why she look like she identifies?
Yeah, even Will.i.am says that's too much. You know, it's even more than that. But
hold on. I got y'all. Wait. Here we go. You can take off this whole side of the head.
Your face says young boy's chest. This is young boy's chest. You got it. Yeah, it's what it is, really. Rasmus says Sean is genetically incapable of drawing this thing. It's true, and I don't want to give him a hard time. Like I don't want to break his brain in case any of this brain rot actually seeps into his mind.
Can you imagine?
I'll be the one that ruined Sean, and I have the internet against me. You know, right? This is it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's even less back. It's even less. But whatever, we'll accept it.
Yeah, now I don't even know what this is.
Yeah. Will.i.am says completely flat. Right, just try it. Just
all
try it once.
All right. Oh,
right. Now we're talking.
Oh,
now we're getting somewhere.
Oh, I'm in pain.
Now we're getting into the real deal, Holyfield mainstream situation right now. This is now the editors are happy.
Now can I get a job in Marvel?
Now you are Marvel material. Now we're talking.
Frodo said, expect an email from Marvel in your inbox after this.
My man about to get. He gonna draw the next Hellfire Gala issue. In the next 2 weeks, he gonna draw it. He's hired, bro. Look at the chat. They're happy. This is what's going on right now. This is the new hotness right now. Now they don't got to import a Brazilian to draw this. They can get a domestic, black man to draw, and you black too.
Oh, forget it. I'm the beacon of diversity and inclusion, bro.
You about to blow up crazy huge.
John said this still looks more interesting than the character from Marvel. I can't even look at it no more. Get it off. Okay.
So you got to erase the line underneath.
Wait, what line underneath? Hold on. Wait. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Interesting. Let's try that. It's a good idea. Yeah, there you go. Well, yes. It's probably still rounded. It's gotta be flat.
It's like straight up like.
You know why? Because the Unibook was a bad draw. Yeah. You see how all right. No. Oh, you had it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, like that. Where see, before you had it rounding. The round only happens at the bottom.
Huh?
All
right.
Like that. Like you had it right there. No.
Oh, right, right here. Okay. Okay. I got you.
That is what they want. That's what I seen. That's what they do. That's what they got them mentally trained to draw light.
Bro, this is torture. This is like, how does anybody even do this?
They got them shook to draw this, and only that. You know what I'm saying? Rico's like, send Marvel the link. They're scouting right now. Okay. But they're not scouting for anybody. You know, they still got the "don't call us, we'll call you" situation. So they're never gonna see.
Oh
this.
my goodness.
But that's the
goodness.
flavor, Sean. Okay. We workshop this. You know, they're gonna put you on some one shot of Captain Marvel next week.
I just feel like I lost part of my soul doing that. Oh, Mama Bear's here. What's up, Mama Bear?
Very interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's the new hotness.
I'm trying to draw a Marvel woman, as they would want her.
Yeah. Rasmus said Sean sweating. He is sweating. I think like we did something to him.
He think our brain cracks.
Me in the chat like did something bad to Sean. You know what I'm saying? Give him.
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
think he should be doing this.
Yo, imagine drawing this.
We'll get rid of it in a second. You know what I'm saying? Alpha Proto said this is what happened to John Mailing with his cover. That's what he said. He said he drew some cover for Thunderbolts, and they said made him change it a few times. Said, hey, you got to reduce this. You got to tone that down, and made him lose his mind. And that's why it's like even he was like the last one of the few guys who still knew how to draw like a 90s style, and they were trying to like beat it out of him. And it was like that's why it's like that whole 90s era of like, yo, you're gonna take this book and make lemons into lemonade.
Right.
They won't even allow it, bro, because the bare essentials to get, people in the seats is taken away from you. All right. You got the central image, guys. Sean's going to go back to the original drawing. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
There you go. Okay.
Jesus
all right.
Christ.
It's back. It's back.
I don't know how.
It's back.
I don't know how I even managed any of that. That was. Oh man.
Yeah. Not cool, but you had to learn. Sean had to learn what's going on in the industry right now. Also, another way of like drawing like cool is that you have to ignore a lot of stuff that's going on right now, because unless you get infected with the new flavor right now. I even see like these good artists from other countries they hire who like still have like it looks kind of like the 90s. They're still toning it down.
Hold on. Brina says she sent me some. Wait, you said wait, where Brina, in Twitter or like Discord?
It's like it's tough. It's sort of like you have to believe. You have to like sort of ignore what's going on in the mainstream and follow your instincts and never waver. And then you'll like all those people that told you like the 90s were sucked and like the artwork is finished and all this, and you have to ignore them. People say don't watch the anime, don't watch, just leave that alone, bro.
Right. Well, look here.
You can't listen to those people either. It's like you just have to just think about what's cool and do it and hold firm no matter what until the time is right.
Let's see, our mod Brina right now is messing up right now. Brina, you ain't never gonna get. Hold on. No, wait. No, that's not what I meant to put up. Where's my iPad? There we go. Yeah, you can't have boobs like that, Brina. You can't. You can't draw that.
Yeah, and it kind of like, I don't know, sloppy formulation, like because of the physics of the boob. Like they don't want you thinking about that.
Yeah, no boob physics. Can't do no boob physics.
They'd be like, hey man,
no boob physics whatsoever. John said, toss me the link for your book. Oh yeah, it's probably gonna pop up, but let me see. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Boom.
Brina just posted it.
Brina posted it. It's in the Nightbot. It says pick up Red Cyberpunk Fairytale, redcomicbook.com. It's redcomicbook.com, baby.
There you go.
And look at this, huh? Look at this. This is like normal. You know what it is? Drawing attractive people is just so that your eyes can relax and get into the story. That's all it is, really.
I didn't be
It's
honest.
not
Like,
about being a horn dog. It's not about that. It's just about like letting your eyes relax and not being distracted by anything visually, and then you can relax into the story. It's like, oh, this is nice. Everything looks like the way my brain sees it.
right. To be honest, even if I drew a girl with like smaller boobs, which I do,
Yeah.
it's still gonna have like some like regular formulation of like
Yeah, because like
boob.
you'll draw it like how it's supposed to be, but like the uniboob is a different situation. It's like a peck that guarantees that you will not get in trouble from editorial. That's why they do it.
Lord have mercy.
Rico says, "Do your thing, and when time comes, they will come to you and ask to erase your work." Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the day, you think Bob Harris was like that in the 90s? He was like, draw more, draw 18 guns. In fact, why are all you other guys aren't doing it? Turner hips. He was like a pimp or something. Like they were just like, are you not? You could fit an extra gun in his waistband. Like, draw that. He had them all like supermodels. Like, the editor from Marvel was like encouraging more chaos.
And now, well, I mean, I don't know. Like the comic book industry, once again, I mean, we said it a million
More
times. Like,
action, more explosions. I mean, you can say it's juvenile, but how is this like mature era of comics? Is that any better? Like, and their concept of mature is like murky comic book colors, covers that like, I don't know, pinups with dudes looking serious, staring at you, and the colors are like brown and on the cover and super serious. And
I mean, they could play around with. I mean, I'm starting to play around like with my color schemes, but I still need like something that pops in it instead of like everything looking like mud.
there's something that seems like it's fun.
Right.
They're trying to do comic book covers nowadays, like an Agatha Christie novel or something, like some. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though like you old, like as an older reader, you still like are buying comic books for some kind of youthful energy, some forward progression in the art form. In the direction of cool.
Right.
It's like music. It's like pop music, it's like rock music. It's like there'll be new songs, but it's still in the vein of fun. It's not like you're going into like classical or some weird atonal music. Even though a lot of songs right now are not that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Rasmus says, I'll not be judged by comic book characters. Yeah. Mama Bear says, unless it's a story about a goblin. Yeah, of course. A goblin,
Oh, I think she was responding to who said earlier like I prefer my characters not to look like a goblin.
Oh yeah, unless it's about a goblin.
Yeah.
Unless it's about some weird creature, unless it's about like some guy who's, there are people in this world who are out of shape and are represented in comic books too, or like not classically attractive. The guy who made Punisher's weapons back in the day, Microchip, he wasn't like, some great looking guy. He looked like a guy realistically that would be like, I don't know, sitting at home making weapons for the Punisher all day. Like, he wasn't hitting the gym.
Right. Matter of fact, now that we talking about boobs, we're gonna put boob highlight now, just to forgive myself for drawing that monstrosity I just did.
John says, what is charge listed as Sean looking at the website? I think I might have bought the book already. I bought many books. I can't keep purchases straight, or what email it might be from. I can't search email.
Oh, it was it $13.99? The book.
Yeah, it's $13.99, and there's a shipping charge of what, $9.60 something.
Right, right. So it should be about like, you know, 20,
Right,
23, something like that.
right. But take your time. Go through your pile. See if you bought it already. I don't know. Brina says, if you're gonna draw breasts without the striking part. John says, screw it. I'll just buy another copy. Hey.
Oh man. Well, I
No
mean,
problem with that.
yep. Thank you.
Yeah, if you find out you got a double copy, you can give one to a friend. You can give one to a new reader. Pass it on. Thank you so much.
Much appreciated, man.
Yeah, Willem says, yeah, shipping was $9 and change. Yeah, it's reasonable. Very reasonable. Top G is selling his comic for $97.
Yo, son. I thought. I'm sorry. Like I wanted. Listen, man. All right. No, let me think. Yo, Top G. Not me, because I got my own stuff going on, and may have more going on in the future. So I don't want to deal with that. But yeah, you gotta go search some artists, Top G. I don't know.
Yes, the Top G. I don't know, bro. That's a loss.
I'll just say. Oh boy, $97 though. Somebody commented earlier, and it was like, what happened to the extra $3? I don't know. I don't know why he didn't just make it the even like $100. Enrico said, "Really, that's the price?" Yes. To get Tate's book, it's $97, and it didn't look that long. Okay, it wasn't no 88-page book. It wasn't no, it wasn't like 96 pages like Isom. It looked like it probably, from my estimation, from what he was holding, looked like it could have been about 40 to 48 pages, something like that.
Yeah.
$97. Brina said the sad fact people buy it. Oh, I know. Somebody's gonna buy the book. Somebody's definitely
Probably buying it right now. I mean, look, and that's the thing. It's like, look, you buy what you like.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel pressured into buying anything. If you like it, buy it. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean that's on them. I just think it's hilarious.
Willem says Red is 88 pages. It is 88 pages.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the best deal I think in the comic scene right now because
Right.
It's hype, it's dope, it's reasonable price. You should get it. It's like no risk to you. Like it is awesome. And it won't last forever, okay?
Right.
So take advantage now, guys. You guys could be the ground floor. You guys could be the Red Cyberpunk Fairytale first come, first serve army, and we will always remember you. Rasmane says that 97 should go to a good Waffle House. Yeah, you get some chicken on that waffle.
Right. Yo.
Yeah, and our books you get the top notch art. It's not like I know like comic books are charging like what $80 and whatever Top G and $50 and all this, but I'm like, damn guys, we got these books, sitting here, baby, waiting for people to buy quality.
I mean, he's on all rights to make his stuff $97.
Yeah, they will buy it, because he has the fans. $97, bro.
I'm just like, and then it's
But
funny because people.
I'm not even a hater. I'm like, do what you got to do, but I'm just saying because they'll buy it. But I'm just saying, like, damn.
Man, people complain about Isom being $35, which I ain't have a problem with. This man is coming out with $97.
Yeah.
Top G's out here for less pages.
Yeah. Now he got some economic hardship, so maybe he needed $97. Like he need all $97 for.
Oh, he broke.
He's under some federal investigation. He having real problems right now. So
I'm not gonna even lie. Like I haven't kept up with his whole mess. Like he got charges and.
Well, I'm not gonna go on that stuff. It's just
right.
But I'm just saying, like, and Eric July's trying to build like a movement and a company. So.
Right. $97. Just saying.
What's that? It's not federal. It's what's it called? Like wherever he's from, Romanian investigation.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. Josh says, I wish more indie artists had their books priced like Sean. I'd buy even more. Everyone's have their own situation going on.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support.
Yeah.
Like,
But guys, just to let you know that our next book is definitely gonna be $97. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with y'all. I'm not making it $97.
and I want to see if other things can be like. I want to see if we can make digital work. Like, no one's making digital work. I mean, digital is kind of like, but maybe there's like a digital product that people could buy as well, but of a different art style. But it's like that stuff for the future. But $97, like, bro,
97.
someone's gonna pirate that book, eventually.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely.
Enrico says that's wild. Maybe the book looked crazy good, but really good on Top G. Hey, people buying the book. He got the last laugh, so it really doesn't matter. His philosophy too is like to do things fast and not worry about like the money. And if it doesn't work, or just make something else.
Yeah.
He said it like he made some rap song. And he says he never rapped in his life, but he got some guy to write the rap for him, and then he just did it. And then like I don't know, people bought the song because they like him.
That's funny.
It's not my philosophy, but it is what it is. John says, have you guys been on with Rini on her stream? Y'all saw similar. Get on Michael Bancroft and Mandy on her Pimp My Comic stream. Yeah, we're looking at that.
Yeah, definitely.
Rasmay says $79 and no more. Fair.
You capped at 79. All right, cool.
Fair. The next Red adventure of 37 pages or whatever will be $79 thanks to Rasmain in the chat. If you have a problem with that, you have to take it up with him and his squad. John says, I always buy a digital copy of any book available. I've backed campaigns when I know I won't read a comic, but if it was digital format. But it was a digital format, so I tossed them some cash in case I run out of books. It's like, yes, no one's really cracked the code on digital. Like they had this whole comiXology thing that Amazon was doing, and now I'm hearing that's folding up into, I don't know what. I guess it'll fold up into Amazon proper. So I don't really know. I guess it'll just be in the Kindle and you just read it from the Kindle.
Right.
Instead of it being its separate thing. I know like there's a comic book site called Indie Planet that is like a print to order site. And they could actually print the comic for you and you could buy a digital copy from them. No one really, I don't know, it hasn't have a lot of promotion, but it is an option for people. Maybe some guy could do like some like crazy like crowdfunder or something where you unlocks a digital comic or something. But that's like Patreon, I guess, where like they donate to people and they get like a few pages, or like Substack. They subscribe to the Substack.
Yeah.
And then you just draw the comic and plop it there, and only subscribers can read the comic. So people, I guess, are doing digital in a way.
Right.
But in terms of like doing all the pages and like saying, hey, pay me whatever, $5 for this issue. Interesting. I don't know. I have to be more research about it. I know a lot of people prefer physical, and physical, I guess, makes it like, I guess, one step harder for the pirate man to like get your hands on the book or something.
Yeah, it probably does.
Then you got to scan in all the pages.
You're right.
But I don't know. It's got to be. It's interesting. So it's some new ways of doing something that someone hasn't figured out yet. Brina says, I'm thinking of making a website and app dedicated to a series. Might be the way to go. I don't know. It might. Apps are interesting. Whatever it is, you have to have a platform in order to promote it.
Yeah.
You know, like Top G. I mean, like, look, obviously he has fame. He has fame. He has infamy. He has all kind of stuff. He has a huge Rumble channel, and he just directs people where they need to go.
Right.
So if you have like a comic book, you have a digital comic, you got a comic book like drawn on a series of kites that you fly into the air, or whatever it is, on a website or whatever, you have to have enough of a platform to direct people to that thing, and then they will support it. And I guess the more obscure the platform, the more obscure the medium, it makes it harder. But if you have enough of a, people didn't think Ripa could do it outside of the crowdfunding sites. Like, he just had his own site. That was like unheard of or something like that. But
And
he
it
made it
works.
work because he had enough of a platform to like direct people to it. So it works. And that's another option that people didn't even think of in the first place. Now, it just thought Amazon and, third-party sites was like the only way to go. He changed the game. Now, they say digital can't work, but maybe somebody will crack that code later or something like that. And maybe it's a person who's watching this stream right now. Alpha Proto says physical actually holds value. That is actually true because those things get graded by professionals. It's a physical object.
Right.
So it's like valuable in the physical world. Like, it'll never be deleted unless you set it on fire or something like that. And if it's signed, it was signed by like a real person who's like pen touched paper.
No,
In
that's
the
true.
digital space, it's like, we have digital signature. I know they have NFTs and stuff,
Yeah.
but physical objects are the original NFT because it exists. And there's only a few of them made, and there's ways to prove it. Yeah, John says he backed out of campaigns where PDFs come with the book. True. Will says, I'm physical only. I hate reading stuff off a screen. It doesn't look the same. There you go. It can get exhausting for the eyes, the screen blaring at you, like, oh.
There's a lot of stuff to consider, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to consider. Then some people say, I don't have enough room on my shelf space. They got the other people who say that. So, lots to consider. I'm open to all suggestions. Brina says, that's why I think a dedicated website could work, one where you could see, where you can buy pages as it's released. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like, it sounds like the comic book industry, according to this article that we read, or like what's going on with the indie people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything's becoming decentralized and it's becoming more individualized.
Right.
And getting your name out and your word out is almost like as important as the book itself, or maybe more. Unfortunately, I hate to say things like that, but it's almost like
Promote.
you could have the hottest comic book in the world, but if no one knows who you are, then it doesn't matter, because there's so much internet noise,
right,
cluttering up people's brains, that you gotta step outside the crowd, before they could even see who you are. It's like on Twitter, like you just like scroll the feed and it's just everybody competing for your attention. With art, like especially with AI art, now they're just dumping a bunch of like, I don't know, anime ladies on your feed like 24 hours a day. You might not even see Sean's work.
I guess. Well, yeah. No, you're right.
Like, I'll be posting something on Twitter, and maybe like, I don't know, a few people will see it because it's just people are getting it, stuffed with a bunch of like, I don't know, memes, and so you gotta.
And I think both you and I can attest to this. Like the stuff that blows up most on our pages is like just us talking.
Yeah, sometimes. I posted a meme about like, I posted a picture and wrote like, yo, comic book of a comic book stand, and I wrote like, comic book covers are like, I like them better back in the day because they look more fun, and the colors, you could see them from a distance because now they're all murky or something like that. The thing got like 897 likes in like a day or something like that. And people want opinions. I don't know like what they want,
We still have to do art regardless. So
But you
it's
got to
like,
do art. Like you still have to be an artist. It can't just be like, you know, your merch is just and your comic book is just an afterthought merch situation.
right,
It still has to be quality. It still has to provide value. It still has to be a good story, or else people are just going to be like, "Yo, this is crap,"
right,
and they're going to call you out on it. Because it can only get you so far. Hype and a sob story and all this. Like America's Got Talent, everyone's got a sob story.
right.
But if your song sucks, they won't even air it. Mm. Alpha Proto says, "Yeah, AI waifus all over the place. They multiply fast. They're pretty, but I'm happy. My art looks nothing like AI art. Sorry, Art Germ. Oh, he taking a shot at Art Germ. I don't
Well,
know
that's
about
the
that.
that's the thing though. Like with the AI art, that's funny. Although it can emulate comic book styles, uh, but like the
Yeah,
digit,
it's getting better.
it's got. I mean, it still messes up hands, but
Yeah,
man, it's starting to get digital painting on lock.
yeah.
And I
Like I,
digital
I
paint.
like I like Art Germ. He's the man. But AI art starting to catch up with some of the stuff that he could do, especially when it's just faces.
Oh, forget it. Faces is like it's
Faces
done
are
before.
over.
Faces is
Bye
over.
bye.
Now, as far as full bodies, it's still navigating through that. But man, I've seen some great designs from AI art, like great designs, where I'll just be like, Marvel should have used some of these, some of these designs.
Might have to do sequentials. I don't know. Maybe people are gonna have to start doing sequentials. They can't be the cover
But
guy all the time, but maybe they
yeah,
can. I
yeah,
don't know. People have been making a living doing covers, but the AI is starting to get a little too intelligent.
start drawing pages. It still can. It still has not mastered pages. I'm gonna tell you that much. It's trying, but like, it'll mess some stuff up really bad, really bad.
Rasme said I saw that tweet and ignored it, Dan. John says, what's this? It says, oh, wait, hold on. Claiming, if you claim to like things, you got to put some effort into, what's this say? Finding it too. Yeah, it's now a hunt and peck situation. You got to find what you like. It's not like back in the day, they just had Wizard Magazine and they just have all the comics that I guess that are worth anything.
Right,
You turn on the TV, it was on like 5 channels back in the 90s and shit.
right,
It wasn't that hard. Basically everything that was available was pretty much available. Anything outside of that purview was like what on the, I don't know, independent film channel or at the video store.
yeah.
Now it's like you got to like weed through a bunch of internet to get to what you want.
Oh, let me jump back in the conversation. So it's
John says, "Am I talking about ISOM?" No, I was not talking about ISOM. Like, it's a thing. Like, people got to realize, like, there's a lot of crowdfunders out there that are giving like I'm talking like terrible anatomy, terrible stories, no story. Like, you've seen them, you've ignored them. That's why
right.
you don't know about them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's like a hot woman. Like, she walks in the room and she doesn't notice like 12 like normal people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
All right, let me stop. This was only supposed to be a sketch. I had fun with it though.
Eric July's hiring like Chuck Dixon and like I don't know Brazilian models to draw comic books. Like he's fine.
Oh yeah, he's doing great. You know what I'm saying?
He's on some other level. He will not take mediocrity for an answer.
There you go. Oh.
Uh Alpha Proto says, yeah, AI designs are not bad. They're great for getting instant design variations, easier than paying 100 artists for slightly different drawings these days. You know, I've seen some AI art that is like, damn, it's looking pretty tough for like people who just draw portraits. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Oh yeah. Like this right here, it'd kill me on this. Whatever I just drew right now, AI would look at me and be like, "I be," and just destroy me completely. But I got pages to fall back on, so
Exactly.
I'm like, "Oh, but can you do this action sequence though, AI? Can you do this action sequence
Yeah.
though?"
And hey, you know what, man? People just draw your own comic books. It be I don't even care. Like people are like, yo, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna suck. If I could draw this portrait, but if I start drawing pages, it's gonna look bad. Then draw a bad comic book. Who cares? Like
Yeah.
you gotta start somewhere.
Listen,
Plus,
yo,
if
I
it
just
looks even better than like the worst comic book on the stands, it'll still be better than that. Like having this dream of like this thing has to be like the next level of like Joe Mad and all this, like forget it. Like, you know, you got to start somewhere. Draw a comic book. Like try.
there's a
That's why
man.
Americans, you know, that's why I guess Eric July's having problems finding American comic book artists because they're maybe they're subconscious or they want to try, and you know, and everybody's felt that. Like every artist has felt that, you know.
Yeah.
I felt it, Sean's felt it, you know, but you got to power through because, you know, now the opportunities are coming by. And now people wish they were drawing mad sequential like they were back in the day. Now, I can imagine they didn't want to because, you know, they'd be harassed by editors making them draw things you don't want to draw, you know.
Right.
But, you know, let's forget the past. Let's just focus on the future. Okay.
Just draw the sequentials.
Let's just draw the sequentials now.
Because hypothetically speaking, if Dan or I wanted to work on another book, at least we had sequentials to show.
Yeah, you know. And maybe it's not like tons of sequentials, but it's sequentials.
Right.
And I got some more sequentials coming. And I got some pinups coming. And I got some covers coming.
I mean, also, I hate to harp on this topic, but like, look, guys, there's a man out there, man, is known as Top G, okay, and he just he's selling whatever sequentials are in there. From what little I saw, I assure you, y'all look good. You just sequentials
just try. You know what I'm saying?
and sell it for $97. No, I'm kidding. Do not sell it for $97. Yo, can I train my own AI and like put my own style through my AI and then like have it like finalize my style and then I reference myself through the AI? That's ridiculous. I'm not gonna do that, but that is kind of funny.
John says, I miss Wizard Magazine. Look up some months and they include trading cards and posters. I tell you what, I heard some people complain about Wizard Magazine, and Wizard Magazine was probably some kind of gatekeeping, I don't know, industry magazine or whatever. But at least it was all about comic books and brought people to comic books and made them buy comic books. It wasn't like clickbait websites and talking about some other junk that had nothing to do with comics all the time and yada yada yada. At least it was fun. It came from a more fun era. So, and I like the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel where they show like the old Wizard magazines and stuff. It gives me good vibes.
Right.
You know, in fact, I find that more inspiring than, you know, reading about the doom and gloom all the time about the industry sucking, you know.
Right.
Maybe the Brazilians, they watch that channel. I don't know. Maybe that channel's big in Brazil. That's why they still drawing sequentials.
Maybe.
Alpha Proto says that's why Joe Mad jumped to video games. Yeah, because he was making money in the video games. And he was like, well, I got a family and all this. But, you know, I guess if he was big though, like I guess he could have been his own, like, I don't know, Spawn level creation, but I don't know. I can't really say. He'd have to answer that for himself.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that if he would have worked on the Bow Chase video game, but maybe they wouldn't allow the opportunity or something. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I think like I don't know. Maybe the biz is too wild for some people, you know. Mark Millar seems to navigate within the comic book industry very well.
Yeah.
He knows how to get movie deals, still write comic books. He has a balance. Maybe if he was there to like, I don't know, mentor some of the other artists like Jay Scott and Joe Mad and say, oh, you know, talk to me, I'll help you out or something, that would have helped. That's why I say instead of people complaining and like hating on other people, try to be helpful, you know, give advice, you know, support, buy somebody's comic book or like, you know. And it sounds like he wants to help, like a guy like Mark Millar, and you know, they should take his advice. Alpha Proto said he did Battle Chasers, then he did Darksiders. Yeah. And I guess he really liked video games. Like, what can I say?
Yeah.
I like comic books more than video games. But, you know, it's just me. That's why.
You know, I still have Darksiders 3 and Darksiders 2 sitting on my PS4. I haven't beat them.
Yeah. Rasmane says, I kept every wizard I ever bought. Not that many. It's good for the memories. And even like they used to teach kids how to draw, the basic training thing, they'd have like Rick Capullo show you how to draw like
I remember
the muscles.
That. Yes.
They had like Jim Balance show you how to draw Catwoman. They had some good information in some of those wizard issues. Like, you know, if you could find them online, the basic training had some good stuff in there. Especially if you like American artwork from that era, you know, they were basically teaching you how to do it.
Right.
You know, I think they even collected some of those and like had their own wizard basic training magazine. If you could find those are pretty helpful to be sure. Yeah. Jen says apparently animators are making a killing as well. Someone on a stream asked a guy why he doesn't make more comics, and he said because animation pays better. Yeah, some people are just motivated by the cash. I don't know. It's like there's things that animation can do that comics can't do, but I will say this: animation can't. You're just part of a team, and in comics you control the story, the art, the writing.
Yeah, it's a whole narrative,
and you can get the idea out. And then if it gets big, I don't know, some other guy could animate it for you. Just give him the comic book and just animate that. You know, hopefully, you know. I mean, yeah.
Well, somebody animate this for me right here with the wind blowing in here. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there you go. Rasmus says too many knives out in the American comic book industry. Yeah, it sounds like from the comics broke me hashtag. There's a lot of chicanery going on, and it'll have to be weeded out. And William says animation takes a lot longer. It does.
Oh yeah, it's. I really want. I followed an animator today on Twitter, on X. Excuse me. I can't get used to the X. And they were really good. But I'm like, man, that's a lot of time and dedication.
Rico says, yes, somebody with good taste needs to do a comics channel to celebrate the good stuff without the simping and selective hatred. Not me though. I don't care. Well, hey, sometimes you gotta say your piece. You know, you gotta say
good to throw the idea.
Keep it real. You know, sometimes things are positive, some things are negative. Like you just gotta keep it real. You know, those retailers finally kept it real and said what they were holding back on. They were like,
took them long enough.
You know, it's just stop focusing on some Hollywood, I don't know, underling that you're trying to like stuff a comic book into his like back pocket before he leave the party. Stop thinking about him and start thinking about the customers who actually buy stuff, and stop hating them and create something that's actually good.
I don't know who invented hating the customers. Was that Mo?
It's like it started like a long time ago. It started like when they were like, oh, comics got to stop with that boom pow stuff and that action stuff. It's because they were like, I don't know, it's got to be more sophisticated and mature. And then What's the next level of mature? Academia is the next level of mature. And then where do you what and then where did the where did the bad people come from? Academia. Then that's what they cater to now. Just a bunch of
It's funny they wanted to get into movies and shows so bad, and they finally did. And now there's a whole strike going on. So
and all the other indie companies are trying to like be like that too. They're like, oh, I'll get a venture capitalist to fund my comic book company, and then we'll go to Hollywood and try to stuff comic books into the back pockets of the script reader for I don't know some movie studio and stuff, and they'll spend whatever like years and try to raise dough and try to pass off I don't know movie pitches as comic books to the customer when the real whale they're trying to capture is some I don't know some Saudi prince in a yacht to get him to invest in their movie. So then they'll finally make like the Bloodshot movie with Vin Diesel, and then Valiant Comics will be like, yeah, we're doing great, and then it's released during the pandemic, so it's kind of flopped, and then that's that, Meanwhile, it's like if you were a comic book company, like being like, listen, that's a demo of people that walk in and out of the comic book store, Think about that dude. Think about yourself. Think about what's cool for real. Not what's going to get you like a write-up on msnbc.com, but actually like, I don't know, an actual cool looking comic book.
yeah, right, exactly.
Then you can like build up your fame organically. And then maybe in a few years, they'll call you for the movie deal or something.
Right. All right, yo. There we go. I don't know what I just
John
did.
says he thinks it was Star Wars that had the fans mentality. It happened in a lot of places, so I would agree. That's one of them. It started when they calling people fanboy, but we were having too much fun to pick up on it.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
Times.
Don't be a fanboy. Be this sophisticated wine drinking comic book person that only refers to things as graphic novels and
I know they
drink this Chianti while I read my copy of Watchmen, and not wear my heavy metal t-shirt. I'm gonna wear like a robe or something. Then that morphed into like I don't know, getting into politics, and then that morphed into whatever era.
I don't know how it started.
That we're in right now.
They probably thought it was gonna impress like, women or something.
Yeah, they were always trying to impress women. It's weird. And they had a vision of a woman that they were trying to impress too, and it was like some 90s riot girl archetype, and I guess that morphed into
right,
whatever Sean was trying to draw way back in the chat.
Oh, I got her right here. She's still here.
Willem says, "Don't be a fanboy. Why are we losing money? Where's the fans?" I rather that era where they just call people fanboys and like whatever. They were like dorks and stuff and wearing heavy metal t-shirts, and they were overweight, underweight people walking the store. We were having more fun, and the comics were kind of dope. And at least it was like a real industry. At least it was like comics were big. It's just like we had like distribution problems, and people went too crazy with the variant covers and stuff. And at least there were still comics. It's not like some other thing going on.
Right.
But anyway, there's a lot of blame to go around. Just remember, guys, comics are here. Comics are what you make of it. Draw a comic book, doesn't have to be like 88 pages like ours. It doesn't have to be like, it could be 5 pages. It could be 10 pages. Just do the best you can.
Yep.
Train up, because we're entering into a unique era where I think comics are going to be doing better in a different way.
Hold on, before we get off, I just want to say that John has a good point right here. Like, my girl saw like this cake. It was like a Spider-Man cake or something, but it was like cool because he had like the webs would be like part of the candles or something. It was well constructed. And she was like, "Yo, would you like a cake like that?" And I was like, "If you asked me that maybe like 10 years ago, people would have said cool, but like I don't know. I'm not trying to rep. I say that because Josh said I hesitated buying a comic shirt the other day because I didn't want people thinking I like the latest movie. How sad is that? We can't even buy stuff related to characters we used to love. Yeah, because now it's just like it's like
It's been
adjacent.
hijacked. You can only like it from nostalgia standpoint.
Right. It's,
Like, no, not the Punisher, where he's like, I don't know, some kind of weird sad sack simp magician. Not that guy. I meant the Punisher from like, the Mike Zeck, the the Garth Ennis Max Punisher, whoever, any version of Punisher except for this guy. But it's different. It's different. It's different. Enrico says, I can't think of a single objective commentator that has the knowledge, but is not based in some way or not biased in some way or the other than the wonder people here in this chat and stream, of course. Well, thank you.
nice. Thank you. Thank you.
We keep all options open, and maybe one day, I don't know, these mainstream people, I mean, stranger things have happened. I don't predict it, but in the near future, but I will say maybe some company, maybe like, I don't know, they'll just say, hey, you know what? We're just going to go back and draw what we used to draw back in the days. Maybe some smaller company would do it. I don't know, maybe like Top Cow or some company would be like, let's just try one
Okay, I
issue.
would have more hope for Top Cow than I would for Marvel and DC. They
take some random comic that they don't know about, like, oh, we'll take this Witchblade one shot and just do it like traditionally, not a parody, and we'll try it, and then maybe that'll sell 1 billion copies. I don't know. Who knows?
Marvel and DC got me out here not wanting to wear my Punisher shirt no more.
Yeah. All I know is what I could control. Like, all I know is like draw and read Cyberpunk Fairytale, available at redcombo.com. We could draw whatever you want. We don't have to deal with the pressures of some editor. We just draw what we want. You draw what the people want.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Before I get off here, y'all dare me to put up the uniboob on? No, actually, no, I'm not gonna put that up on Twitter.
No. Well, maybe.
Nah, I would have to like formulate it into a good joke.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This is a good drawing here, though.
Oh,
You definitely post this.
Yeah, this I'll post my sketch.
Yeah, you shouldn't traumatize people too much. Like,
yeah.
Let them see the positive time of comics or something.
That uniboob that uniboob whole thing might become like, I don't know, it's a standalone video, but
it is a weird phenomenon that people draw, and they draw it so they don't get in trouble with editorial or something like that. It's like a preemptive thing to not get in trouble. It's a weird side effect of the modern comic book era.
Right.
Yeah, they got to shake all that out, especially nowadays because Hollywood's on strike right now.
Yeah.
So they're gone or something. And this is like the first Comic-Con that like actual comic book people had to just like sit there and like think about like, holy crap, it's just about comics now. What do I do? So maybe it's time they had to confront like what they've done, like some kind of like when the booze run out,
right,
and there's no more. You have to face your own life.
Almost.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, Brazilian artists do not draw uniboobs. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I think I had the cleavers misplaced. Let's fix that right before I get off stream. It's like more over here.
Enrico says, save it for your Marvel resume. Yeah, save the uniboob for that. You don't want to be having people copying your style out there,
I'm sure Marvel will be happy to have me after all the crap I've talked about them for.
Well, if they have enough retailers yelling, they'll probably like set aside maybe one book that will go off the rails. It might happen. I don't know. It depends on how like desperate they get. They'll be like, this one, we're going to let them fry. But I don't know. They have like other masters to answer to, they got Disney, they got ESG, they got, there's no need to mess with their situation. It's just, if they want you, if it's a welcoming environment, but it doesn't seem hospitable.
Not welcoming
at
to
the
me.
Moment.
Can you imagine? What would they have me on? That's not. I will like literally pass out from cringe. I'll be in the ER.
I'm surprised. Like more. I don't know. I think we answered all this stuff already. Yeah, they hire you to be a token. That's what Alpha Proto says. It's possible. Yeah, they got all this racial stuff now too. It's like really strange. They hire you to be black, and then you got to wear a dashiki and a kufi and run around like you're like, I don't know, Jaffe Joffer from James Earl Jones from what's his name? Coming to America.
Be like,
Like
hey
he's some
Sean,
like African leader and stuff.
what
It's
they
just
gonna
like
put me?
too
They're
much.
gonna put me to draw Luke Cage and try to chalk in as much stereotypical black stuff as possible.
Yeah, they're gonna have you like I don't know, like it's like that's what they do nowadays, and it's like I think that's part of the selling point and all this. I'm like, bro, we got to get away from all that nonsense and start like making characters that are actually cool, you know. And they make sure like when the Hispanic characters come in, it's like they take some I don't know Captain Puerto Rico or some I don't know what they'd be doing like when they had America Chavez, it's the dumbest characters like corny,
Oh my gosh,
and
I
every
remember.
time it fails, they kind of bring it back. Like it's the only like can't you do better? Like just say it's a dub and like just move on and make like a better Hispanic character. How about a Hispanic character like in a battle suit or something?
Right.
Like a suit of armor that's like badass or something. Like he's a soldier and he's like, he's got to take care of business from these criminals in the neighborhood or something.
They can't do
How
it.
about that?
It's against
So
their
they always gotta have some racial angle and like and I'm tired like why we got black characters always gotta have black in the beginning of their title. We already know they black.
Black Lightning.
Yeah, Black Lightning, Black Panther, and all this. Like stop it, bro.
Blackity black. My new
Back in the
character.
day, that used to be the stereotype. We were like over that 1970 stuff in like the 80s and 90s, and that's when they came back. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like Blade is a cool character.
Yes.
That was supposed to be like, all right, we're past this stereotypical junk, and we're just like, yeah. John says, you mean like Blue Beetle, Hispanic in armor? Well,
Yeah, but like cooler armor than
yeah,
that.
cooler armor and have it be his own original character. That would be cool. And like, I don't know, not have him be,
Like, why can't he be in armor like what's that game? Vanquish.
yeah, how about that? That's
Like
a cool
Vanquish.
armor.
Yeah, it's a Hispanic dude in Vanquish. Oh, that game is fire, by the way. I don't. So underrated game.
Like, I don't know, man. Look, I mean, this goes aside from maybe it's related. I don't know. There's like a badass quality that is missing from comic books nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
We have like the Spider-Man. Oh, I'm a scared little kid doing action. We have that covered. We have like some Science Bro as a superhero. He's covered. We
Yeah.
have the Dudley Do Right character. He's fine. We have like some kind of like I don't know. X-Men used to be badass, and then they turned into like I don't know a bunch of politicians on their own like
Right.
country and stuff. But there's nobody like badass in comics right now. Like the Punisher was badass, and then they turned him into some kind of chump, you know. So how about that? Alpha Proto says we love the anime stuff. How would you like to draw Ironheart?
Yo, hold on.
if you redo Ironheart and make it something
Nah,
else,
nah, nah, nah,
but
nah, 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 nah. Y'all not no. Y'all not gonna do that to me again. First of all, y'all had me on Snowflake and Say Space, and then you have me on what was it? Miss Marvel. When I get through those, maybe I will consider Ironheart, and that's gonna be an overhaul of a century. Matter of fact, Marvel, y'all can hire me for redesigns. How about that? I'll be the redesign guy. I ain't gonna do your combos, but I'll do anybody else's combos before I do Marvels. But y'all can hire me for redesigns, and maybe I'll do that.
it's just a different opinion of like what's cool. They think that is cool, and I think something else is cool, and it's just a difference of opinion. But we do like our comics, like we do like Red Cyberpunk Fairytale and stuff like that. This is what we think is cool, like and we do other things. That's what we're gonna think is cool, like. And if they think that I don't know, drawing the uniboob is cool. I can't vibe, like
Right.
I can't vibe, but like that's armor right there. Look at that video game armor right there. How about
Y'all
character like that? Why can't an Hispanic character look like this?
doing this stuff. Y'all gotta see this game in motion, by the way.
Yeah, how about a black character look like that?
Matter of fact, hold on. Where's the trailer for this? Before I get off here. That's an old game too. Vanquish. Game trailer.
Rasmus says they know it's not cool. Well, that's true. They think anti-cool is cool.
Which one is good? The launch trailer or the PC announcement trailer? Let me see. Rated mature.
You can mute the audio if you want to. I don't know if it doesn't matter, but
Yeah, I probably will have to. This is
yeah.
This joint is like super loud. I gotta figure out that audio by the way.
Get to the gameplay.
I just don't know.
There you go. That's some armor right there. There you go. Yeah, that's the other thing too. People could take inspiration outside of comics too.
I do that all the time. Like, hey Sean, what did you get your action ideas from? Cut scenes, video game cut scenes. Okay.
Enrico says, "OG Luke Cage is classic. I love the classic Power Man before the fear of stereotypes, which made them different from the lame stereotypes. It just changed the stereotype. Yeah, it's true. Now he's like, I don't know, pushing a carriage and stuff, and he's more like got the personality of like a high school teacher or something.
Right.
Before he used to be like, I ain't doing this unless I get paid. Like he was like some badass like dude or something. They're just afraid of badassery. Badassery's too aggressive in the new era, apparently. You know, we live in an era of like Barbie movies. I can't even watch. They wouldn't even make like Lethal Weapon movies or like Die Hard movies or like Seagal movies anymore. So, you know, that's the era we're living in. It's sort of like people are influenced by the environment, and if the environment ain't given like, I don't know, dudes action movies, I mean, it's going to reflect on the comic books and the video games and everything else that's being made, you know?
Right.
Just the way it is, you know? Art isn't created in a vacuum. Rarely created in a vacuum. And hopefully it's because that person's headstrong if they do.
Right.
Not to be corrupted by today's modern sensibilities.
Because you got to make it for the modern audience.
Yeah. Brina says, would you pay $5 for a 30-page comic book? People seem to do all the time. They pay for less. But I guess they pay for that for like known characters and stuff. But who knows? Maybe they'll buy it. It's possible. He says, depends on how cool it is. Maybe people in the chat can answer that. Would they pay $5 for a combo, for a 30-page combo?
I mean, that's what it is now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. In fact, they pay $5 for less. It's like
they
pay for like 22 pages.
Well, people are about to pay $97 for 48 pages. So
yeah. Well, he's top G, so there's like different rules for different people.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all. Brina, you asked before. No, I do not. They have me on weird schedule, so I do not have work tomorrow. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, me and Sean are gonna work on some comic books. Work on some ads for Red is Cyberpunk Fairytale.
Yep.
And push it out there, guys. It's been real. We shall return. You know, thank you for supporting the channel. If you like the channel, if you like what we talking about, if you like hanging out with us, like the video. It helps the algorithm, helps people know the channel's out there, supports the channel. You know, check out redcomicbook.com. You know, you want to support the channel financially, buy a book, you get a comic book. You know, helps keeps the operation alive, makes us happy. You know, gives us a little morale boost, you know, and everyone buys a book and you get a great story, you get great art, it's action packed, it's what the comic book industry is not giving you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They make people having tea parties and, you know, uniboobs and no action and no style in their art. The writing is like, I don't know, some kind of infomercial for some college that you don't want to go to. It's like I'm just saying. Yeah. So you can try that. If you like to have discussions after the show, join the Discord. Links in the description. Just open up the description, you'll find it all. Thank you. Oh, Rasmus said, don't hurt him, Dan. Please, Dan, don't hurt him like MC Hammer.
John,
I will try to refrain.
John was asking, I know. Yeah, it's done. So we're going to ship that out to everyone who bought a book tonight. They're getting shipped out tomorrow.
That's right. Sean got some free time. He's going to ship it tomorrow. Says Red is done and ready to ship. No uniboobs. Yep, those are 3 guarantees.
Yeah, no
right
uniboobs.
There. Yeah, it's done. It's ready to ship. Yeah, no uniboobs. That's a solemn oath. Take the pledge that there is no uniboobs in
In
this
the book.
comic book. No,
I would never.
none.
Except for
In
on this
fact,
stream, apparently. That I
it's like an anti-uniboob situation going on right now, if
Right.
anything.
All right, y'all. We'll
Yeah,
catch
it
you.
says Luke was a startup hero that's financially literate. He was fighting for the people while covering his bottom line. Yeah, it was a good comic book. It's a good character.
Yeah.
Tarantino wanted to make a movie about it, and somehow, I don't know, they were like,
How did they not let that happen?
I don't know. They should have been all over that, but I don't know. You know how these studios are, and I think maybe he changed his own mind. He's always announcing some project that. Alpha Proto says no uniboobs for the price of one.
No universe.
Yeah, it was is definitely conceived at a time when the uniboob was not.
A thing.
It's never a time in my
Yeah, no,
mind though.
yeah.
So I don't know what. It's a weird modern phenomenon that I guess needs to be studied by a comic historian. Once all the data is analyzed in a lab somewhere.
Right.
Okay, guys.
All right, y'all.
Thanks for that. Bye.
We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.